Now I'm free. Free ballin'.
I think that's the first thing viewers heard. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the King of Anime podcast. The second time this week. This time we're covering One Piece live action.
Yay.
Yeah, we got Miss All Sunday here and everything animated. We're glad to have such a special guest. Miss All Sunday, can you give me a hand?
Which kind?
Just
There's like a hand and helping. There's the job of variety of hands, and I've been asked all kinds of different things. And I'm talented in all of them.
All the above. Why not? You got so many hands to go around.
Well, that'll be about
what? You're charging
130, yeah.
Dollars?
Only fair. Yeah. I'm offering you a top level service. You're not getting this anywhere else.
It's ridiculous.
Now, is he charging dollars or doll hairs?
Yeah. Oh, these. Doll hairs.
I'll take it in like you can pay me in like Dr. Peppers. I like Dr. Pepper.
That's a steal. That's a steal. That's a good deal. Carp in the chat says hello. How you doing, Carp?
Hello.
Carp being the biggest One Piece fan I know of, has been reading it for like the last 15 years or 20 years or 40 years or something. I think he's the creator of it. I think he's Eiichiro Oda.
He created One Piece.
Yeah. So if we get anything wrong, Carp will be there to guide us. Just don't ask me. Don't ask Satsuki. Ask Carp. He will know the answer.
Carp will, if we ever get it wrong, he'll just go, boop boo desuwa.
I have a new soundboard. Hold on, let me play it. This is my new favorite one.
Decided I will no longer be paying taxes. What are they gonna do? Tax me more?
Also,
good message.
Also has this one.
Well, would it be more realistic if I bait you?
What's that from?
Yeah, what is that from?
It's a Dragon Ball GT.
Oh, is that Pan?
It's like her first line. Or no, it's not. It's when they're on the planet and she dresses up as like a bumblebee or whatever, and she gets pissed off at Goku. So it's so dumb. Such a dumb series. QRW6 says, "What up, KOA? The JJK manga fandom are in a uproar. Not going to say much because it spoils tomorrow's episode, but people should have known."
Okay.
That's really bad. So if you're really on the side of manga Twitter, it's really, really bad. Spoilers. Like, spoiler culture has gotten to the point where people just straight up post spoiler panels that look like they got stolen and copied with sandpaper.
the deep fried filter.
Yeah, like it just got stole straight off the worst page of the copier. It's really bad. It's really bad. But yeah, that watch out for that.
Yeah, so JJK is turning into the new AOT. That's what I presume.
Every popular anime and manga is basically. AOT was probably one of the worst I've seen with spoilers, but Jujutsu Kaisen is, it's getting the that same type of treatment.
Well, I guess I'm gonna catch up.
Damn.
I'm gonna get
I'm just gonna stay off Twitter.
Hey, that's a really great idea. But today we are here to talk about the One Piece live action. Two of us here are new fans of the series of varying degrees. First of all, me, I started reading it about a tad bit over a year ago. I'm like barely into it. I just finished reading the Jaya arc, which in anime or live action terms would be like season 3, but it's very early in the early 200s. And EA, yes.
What's
your experience with the series?
First of all, I just want to say I love the layout. my name is all in pirate lettering. That's pretty cool. And then the One Piece is behind. That's awesome. My experience with One Piece is I watched a little bit of it. I couldn't tell you how many episodes I watched, but I can definitely tell you that once we start talking about the actual show itself, like how far I got. But it was I'm an anime only, and I've maybe seen just like a handful, but other than that, I have never read the manga. And when I seen the anime, I didn't watch the 4Kids, edit that they did here in America. I was watching. I said, all right, I'm going to see how good this series is, and I'm going to start episode 1. Watched it and was like, I don't think I could last another 100 or so episodes. And that was back, I want to say 2011, 2012. And it was probably half the episodes that there are now. So, yeah, my experience is I understand it's a big anime. I understand people love it. And I know the characters' names. I know what they look like. I see people dress up like them all the time at conventions. But that's about all I know.
What about you, Satsuki? What's your experience?
So I think most Americans, I'll say, will have this experience with One Piece. It was the one show out of the big three that you always skipped as a kid on Toonami because it would come on, and most people wasn't watching One Piece. Bleach and Naruto were way more popular. They were the cooler shows. One Piece was always branded, at least in my experience, and like the circle of people I know who had similar backgrounds when it came to One Piece, they looked at One Piece as the goofy series. It had a lot of, for example, like the crying was really over the top. It's a really zany, adventurous series that, not to say that Naruto isn't and Bleach isn't out there. It's One Piece is out there in a more light-hearted manner that I think a lot of kids didn't look at or didn't view as cool. So, in that regard, I was, of the same mind. Like I looked at One Piece when I was a kid. I was like, I'm not watching this. I'm not watching Rubber Boy. No, thank you. I got ninjas and swordsmen to watch and alchemists. Yeah, boobs. So I mean, One Piece has boobs, to be fair. But that was my experience with the One Piece anime, and I think I started watching it when I was in high school. So what was that? About a decade ago? Yeah, a decade. I've been watching One Piece.
So we got a veteran here.
Of sorts. Because I definitely forgot a lot about One Piece. So,
well, so I guess we should go ahead and jump into the episodes themselves. Let's start with what is to be the Romance Dawn and Orange Town arcs, but episodes 1 and 2. I guess first I want to ask EA about what you thought. Your first impressions going into One Piece, like after seeing the first episode, I guess.
Okay. So, I guess I should mention before I even get into that, when it comes to like anything anime live action, I feel like my first exposure to it was Dragon Ball Evolution. And that was the ass upon ass of live action. Like, they got some random white dude off the street and said, "You're Goku.
you're Kakarot."
Yeah. And I don't know, it just didn't feel like Dragon Ball other than with the characters' names, and he was in high school, and he didn't even look like he was in high school. He was like 30, and he was supposed to be in high school. And but that kind of tainted my whole belief in just trusting any studio with anime live adaptations, and then we got Death Note, and then we got Cowboy Bebop, and we got all this shit. There's probably others that I can't think of. Apparently, and I looked it up, Japan does it all the time. They're like cool with it, and I've never watched any of those, but the ones like this one, I had the same expectation. I'm like, yeah, sure. But then there was all this hype around it where it was like, this is the best one. Even you said that this is the blueprint for all live action adaptations and they should take note. So I said, okay, let me sit back and watch. And yeah, the first episode alone had me hooked. I feel like they picked the perfect guy to play Luffy.
Yeah,
like
Iñaki Godoy.
Yeah, like he got his mannerisms down, his kind of jovial, just like can do. I'm going to be king of the pirates. Like just everything that I saw from that anime's first couple episodes I saw, I was like, yeah, they picked the perfect guy. He is perfect, and not only that, he's a fan. Like, I looked this guy up, and he met the original voice actor of Luffy, and they embraced. He was so happy to see her. He's a fan. And I love the fact that people are actually fans of the stuff that they're portraying, instead of just doing it for a paycheck, And I feel like that adds a little bit more to it, and of course the fact that the creator was involved with all the shooting and creative decisions. But yeah, I was hooked by the first episode. I was just like, okay, what's gonna happen next?
Well, I will say this: pretty much the entire cast and crew are fans of One Piece. Not everyone, but literally most everyone is. Like, the writer for this series is like a lifelong fan, and Iñaki Godoy, Luffy, I think Kobe's actor is Nami's actress as well. Always wanted to be Nami in a live action since she was a kid. So they picked a lot of the right cast to do this. I think they both look like them and they want to be them. So, yeah, what did you think, Satsuki? What did you think after the first episode?
So, first I want to say I'm with EA on the actor for Luffy. What I especially liked about him playing Luffy is that he didn't try to hide his accent, and he didn't try to. Yep. I think an issue that voice actors run into, English voice actors specifically, when you're having to follow the performance of the original Japanese voice actors. I think a lot of times, and this is not just on them, it's also the fans' expectations. People feel like if you don't sound like the original Japanese voice actors, then you did a bad job. So I think it kind of locks them in this performance in which they can't do whatever is natural for them or do whatever works for them in English. In this same vein, I think it worked for him being Brazilian and having that accent and still carrying the mannerisms of Luffy, because that's the most important thing, the fundamentals of Luffy, not necessarily do you sound like the Japanese voice actor of Luffy? Do you sound like the English voice actor of Luffy? I think when it came down to like the characteristics that EA was talking about, him being jovial, him being super energetic, those are things that were translated on screen, despite the heavy accent that he had. And actually, when it comes to One Piece nationalities for the characters, specifically the Straw Hats, Luffy is supposed to be Brazilian from what I heard. Zoro is supposed to be Japanese. Sanji's supposed to be French. Nami's supposed to be Swedish. And this is racist. Usopp is just African. They don't say an African country, they just say African.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's whatever. But yeah, that's how things are supposed to be for those characters. And it reflects in some of their the moves they name, some of the things they do, and some of the clothes they wear. So, but yeah, in regards to the Luffy actor, really liked them, really enjoyed them. I got something to say about another character. I won't say it yet. I want to wait till we're a little deeper. But the first 2 episodes, yeah, I really liked. I like the start of it. You know, it really sets your expectations with the costumes first and foremost. Because I was when this whole thing was announced, I was just worried. How is it going to look? How are you going to do certain effects? How do you do Luffy's devil fruit power? How do you do this and not make it look just cheap and trash? And I think the first 2 episodes set your expectations as to how it's going to look. Some things were CGI, or some things had special effects. Other things they just used makeup and costumes. I think they made good decisions in which they were going to do that. Like for the fishmen, for example, they just straight makeup costumes. Cool, good idea, because it would probably look awkward them fighting CGI monsters for 4 episodes on end. But no, I enjoyed these 2 episodes.
Yeah. Something I will say is I love the fact that they kept the anime style of the characters. They kept the hair, the color of the anime, which to me is very, I don't know. I feel like there's some people that would watch that show being not an anime watcher, and they would probably look at it going, why does this person have green hair? Why does this person have blue hair? And they would just think it's just weird. But I feel like the creators of this live action did it in a way where it was like, this is the world of One Piece, and it's normal. And it just fits perfectly in it. And I think that was something that could definitely be a miss if they didn't do it right, because for some reason people get turned off by weird stuff they don't understand all that much. But I feel like there's a lot more, I don't know, just like when you see shows now, there's a lot of foreign influence. You know, Squid Games is like a big one that blew up, and it's from South Korea. And there's like a lot of shows that people watch now that are from another country. So I guess it's not too weird to see that type of stuff now. But if this stuff was made 20 years ago, it probably wouldn't work. But I think now is the perfect time to do that stuff. And I just love what they did with it.
Yeah,
Appreciate the correction, Cart. Oh, so I want to say quickly, he said, because I made a mistake calling Inaki Brazilian. He said he's Mexican. He's also 20 years old, which is crazy.
I thought he was younger than that, honestly. He
Really?
seems so useful. Youthful. What did I say? Useful?
Useful.
He's so useful.
I can
You piece of shit.
I have special plans for that man.
So EA, I think, well, for both of you, all the outfits, anytime you see them in an alternate outfit that isn't their main ones, those are all taken from like cover panels from the manga. So they're still drawing from that original manga, using all of his original designs, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. No, they nailed the look of just about every single character. Like, I was just like, if you were to tell me like, oh yeah, this is based off of anime, I'd say it looks like it. I enjoyed that.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into the actual plot and the story and stuff. One Piece starts off with the execution of Gold Roger, which has some changes from the original manga. Satsuki can talk more at length about that. But this is kind of how the One Piece starts and stuff. The age of pirating, so to speak. And this is where it's revealed that he has hidden a treasure somewhere, and it's called the One Piece. And this is what everyone who's a pirate wants, because it's this mysterious treasure. No one has been able to find it for decades at this point. So, yeah, what did you guys think about the story and stuff, especially you, EA?
I've always known that the One Piece was this treasure that, well, no, this treasure that everyone wants to find. And I think I remember after 1,000 episodes, I said, have they still not found this One Piece? And someone told me no. And I'm like, are they ever going to find this damn thing? Where the fuck did he hide it? Is it even a thing? I almost feel like it's a big just, because if people can't find it, I don't know. What could it possibly have been?
I think Oda says it's like a real thing. And it's not friendship either. It's like an actual thing.
If it's fucking friendship, this is anime through and through.
Yeah, no, he literally, I think he literally mentioned that. He was like, no, it is not friendship.
Yeah, some people probably asked him it, am I wasting my time reading One Piece? Oh, guys, trust me.
Now, how pissed off would people be if they spent, because when did this come out? In the 90s?
Yeah, late
1999.
90s.
Yep. So late 90s. And it's still going on to this day. That's like 25, almost 25 years come next year. And, that's insane to think that there's literally generations that have watched this. Okay, there you go. Manga 97, anime 99. Okay. So yeah, late 90s. People dedicate all this stuff and it's like, here's the One Piece. Cute.
The One Piece. It's all of you guys' patronage.
It's
Thank you so much.
Right.
It's the friends we've made along the way.
It's the guy that got killed in the beginning. He's going to be standing right there and be like, I didn't die after all. Here's the One Piece. And it's just doing this thing with the fucking thumb. and then all of a sudden, Luffy's standing there and he's just like, I'm going to kill you. I went through so much shit just to do this.
He probably would.
Because, I mean, I haven't even come close to watching the later stuff, but I know, like, there's techniques and gear and all these epic fights and just badass villains and ha laughs and stuff, but God goes through so much just to get this. I'd be pissed as a fan.
I feel it.
But, I mean, if it really is a treasure, cool. I just want to know what makes this treasure so important that people are willing to get it. Because, like, I feel like pirates collect treasure all the time, but it must be like a shit ton of treasure. Like, enough to where... And not only that, if you did get the One Piece, and you got all that treasure, who's to say people wouldn't try to kill you to take it?
Oh, they probably will.
But see, that's the thing, is like, you get it, and then it turns into a game of oddball, where, you get it, and then you die, and someone else gets it, and then it's just an endless cycle. I don't know. I may be thinking way too much into this, but it's that's the stuff I think about when I think of the One Piece.
Well, a lot of people think that the One Piece is somewhere in the Grand Line, which is another big aspect of this first episode, is really introducing our main three characters and having them begin their search for this map for the Grand Line.
Yep.
Yeah.
I find Goldie Roger funny just because I find him funny just because I keep thinking to myself, he was really going to die without even letting people know that this thing existed. If it wasn't for the one guy in the crowd asking, "Hey, yo, what's up, piece?" Nope. Nobody would have known. He'd have just died. He's like the ultimate gatekeeper. He was content. And even then, he told him it exists. It's out there. Do your thing. Crack some skulls open. Go find it. Have yourself a blast. But yeah, he didn't really give him any information. He just said, "Hey, have at it." So I found that pretty funny. Just the laugh he let out when someone asked that question. He just said, "I'm glad you had." He was waiting for that. He was waiting for someone to say that.
I love the look on Garp's face
Go
as he
watch
starts. I love the look on Garp's face as he starts to say all this, and Garp's like, "What? What are you saying? No! Stop speaking! Kill him now!"
Should have killed him a long time ago. I'm surprised more people didn't show up to his execution, considering how big of a pirate he was. I think in retrospect, that it's a little weird considering all the characters that were influenced by Roger. But alas,
Well, we do see in the audience, like, we see, like, a young Mihawk, another character that I won't mention the name of. We see someone else, I can't remember. But we see, like, if you can spot them, they put Easter eggs in the crowd. Some of them are more obvious than others.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
It is something similar with the Warner posters as well. You would have to be far into One Piece to know some of the characters that, because Luffy is going through, like, he's looking at the Warner poster wall, and there's some faces there of characters that are far into One Piece. Like, I'm talking about in past the 500s.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like there's a character on there that I spotted that was in Jaya, which I just finished. So it's pretty crazy that that's on there. It's a really nice detail that they had. But yeah, what do you guys think about, like, our main trio, the Straw Hats? This episode, this is really them kind of all meeting each other. It's a lot different from the original source material, but I think it's done really well. What do you? I know you guys talked about Luffy and stuff, but what do you guys think about Zoro and especially Nami?
Zoro, he's fine. I mean, he just kind of has, I don't know what it is. Like, he's just got an interesting way of, like, his delivery. Because I know, and I watched
He's edgy.
Yeah, he's edgy, but when I listen to Zoro, I hear Christopher Sabat doing his voice, and that's the one when I think of Zoro, I think of him. So he's got that deep kind of, like, brooding voice when it comes to him, and I don't know, I felt like that was always going to be hard to translate into live action, but for what he is and what his character is, and, like, I think he does a fine job. He's got the moves down pat, and I think it's fine. Nami, yeah, they picked a good one with Nami as well. She got the thief part down. She's got the keeping everything to herself and just, I don't know, looking like a tortured soul. I mean, we find out later she's that, but yeah, she came off more like just annoyed with Luffy. But and this is why I thought they picked a good Luffy, because even though she hurled all these insults at him, he was just like, "You're going to be one of my crew." He's just happy, just like, say what you want. You're going to say, "I am not a part of your crew." They were both saying that, and I thought that was funny. And he just sort of kind of, like, willed it into existence, and they became part of his crew. He's a very good convincer without really doing much.
Yeah, he's that's a big theme with Luffy. A big part of his character is, I don't know if you've noticed, but as these episodes go on, Luffy is kind of like in Fruits Basket. I'm chewing gum, so I'm fucking up my words, but like in Fruits Basket, you have Toru Honda, who's like this great unifier and person who heals a lot of people. And Luffy very much is similar to that. Not exactly the same, but he definitely is, like, nails it into people that I'm going to let you chase your dream no matter what, because, I mean, I would be a hypocrite to not let you.
Mm-hmm.
Brings the best. He brings the best out of people, I guess.
Yeah, and they're willing to. I mean, he does for them, and then they reciprocate, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. I really liked the introduction scene with Zoro. Zoro, every single one of Zoro's fight scenes in this live action is phenomenal, and apparently he did all of his stunts. So this is actually him doing it.
I looked him up. He does a lot of the live action anime in Japan, and he was in Rurouni Kenshin. So
Well,
I
yeah,
guess that makes sense.
That was a good one. So, yeah, I really loved it. It was really shocking to me because they immediately introduced Baroque works, which shouldn't appear until the second season.
Oh my god!
What sex scene is this?
I'm taking out the gum. This is ridiculous.
Where's the sex noise?
That's just Kobeni. So yeah, they right off the bat, I mean, they also introduced Garp as well, which from what I'm told, this whole Garp storyline doesn't happen until like hundreds and hundreds of chapters way later in the manga. And it's smack dab, in the first season. So thought it was interesting to have Mr. Seven show up here and basically be cut in half by Zoro. And that's another thing that's, people don't die in One Piece often. And
really?
Not only do they kill people in One Piece, but they violently murder them.
Oh, jeez.
Because remember we saw as well with Alvida? Alvida just crushed that dude's skull. So, lots of changes. Satsuki, what did you think about these changes?
Okay, so there's some things that I like that are changed. But since we were on the topic of Zoro, I gotta say here and now, I did not like Zoro. I think the actor is fine. I think the way they wanted him to play Zoro was bad though. You said he was edgy. See, you talked a little bit about his personality. EA Zoro was way too edgy for me. He was edgy to the point where it was comical. Like this is like Persona 5's idea of cool. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my hands in my pockets and wear all black and talk really low like this because I'm fucking cool. I don't show emotions. Those are for weak bitches, pussies.
He'd probably
But that
say
was-
that too.
That was their idea of the cool factor for Zoro. And don't get me wrong, Zoro is a very serious. He's serious in comparison to the rest of the Straw Hats. But he isn't that stoic. Zoro has fun. He likes to drink. He likes to party as well. He is a Straw Hat for a reason. You know, all of the Straw Hats have some of that goofiness in them. And I think they played Zoro. And I know this is early version of Zoro, so maybe my bias of what I know Zoro to be is affecting me a little. But even in the beginning, I don't think Zoro was this on edge. You know, like there's literally this is later, like episode 3 or 4, where he's like, they're looking at outfits and he's like, "Get me something all black." I was like, what the Zoro doesn't even wear all black. Where did this come from?
Doesn't he have just a plain white shirt and some like
pre-time skip,
yeah.
white shirt, greens, black pants. He has a black bandana, but he doesn't all black. Like what? They made him into like a Hot Topic employee or something.
Yeah, he was definitely very goth for sure.
Yeah, so I didn't really like Zoro too much. He's my least favorite Straw Hat, which is weird because manga wise, at least at this point, Zoro was my favorite. It changed later on, and Nami became my favorite. But yeah, Zoro is my favorite in One Piece at this point. So it's interesting to think about that. And actually, my least favorite Straw Hat, probably at the same point, is now my favorite Straw Hat. We're not there yet, so I won't speak on that. But some of the other changes was them really involving Kobe and Garp, because they were not this involved this early on to One Piece. Especially Kobe. Luffy and Kobe have their thing in the beginning of One Piece, but they had him in every episode. I was shocked. He's not supposed to be this involved. And I was trying to look at it from an objective point of view, like how would this look to someone who never seen One Piece? Because just my gut feeling was I didn't like the change. So I was trying to look at it a different way. How would this look just to somebody who was just getting into it? And I don't necessarily hate that they involved him more. I just wish the connection between him and Garp was a little better, at least in the initial pairing of what interest Garp about Kobe, because it's literally Helmeppo, Kobe on a boat. Helmeppo can't tie a sailor's knot correct because he's a piece of shit. And Kobe goes, "Hey, stop being a piece of shit. That's how you do it." And the Garp's like, "You know how to do a sailor's knot. Come with me. You're going to be in every episode." I was like, "What the? Huh?" I was like, "That's the reason you took an interest in him because he could tie a knot." I would expect any pirate to know that, but that's my only issue. I'm not really, I'm not really mad that he was involved in the plot more because they were going for something different.
We got a weirdo in chat. Weird. They did that because the actor that plays Kobe is trans. Get out of here.
I don't think that's why they did that. I know ASAP Anime too. I don't think that's why they did that. I don't think they said trans. Let's put him in every episode. What?
I didn't put the correlation, to be honest.
And I don't think they're trans. I think they're non-binary. There's difference. But.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't make the correlation, but the person that played Helmeppo, what is it? Helmeppo.
Mm-hmm.
They that guy is so expressive with his facial expressions, and just like, to be honest, I could see him as like one of those cartoonish style villains, like, and obviously, yeah, this is based off an anime, so it fits perfectly. But when we first see him, and we introduce him to his bare ass, and he's got like all the swords and everything, and then you see Zoro's like, "Hey," and then he cuts his hair off and everything.
I was so mad when they showed his ass because I was live reacting to that on Twitch. I was like, why are they showing the bare ass? I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, but yeah, he was a very interesting villain that later on wasn't much but yeah, that's later in the in the episodes. But Kobe, yeah, he's very interesting himself. But I do agree, it does seem like it just happened all of a sudden. I did kind of feel that too. I'm like, because I understand when it comes to stories, you have to have the main plot, then there's B plots, sometimes there's C plots. I mean, I watched Game of Thrones, you have so many plots going on at the same time. Sometimes it's hard to keep up, but I managed. There wasn't that much in this. So, yeah.
Well, I actually like the way Helmeppo's character
Do you still have gum
throughout this episode. I do not. I'm illiterate. I can't speak. But I did find the the scene where he was naked very strange when I first watched it.
Out of all the moments, it's like no cleavage, especially this anime is known for the boobs and everything else. You gotta show a dude's ass instead. So it's like, okay, well, I guess this is where we're going.
So yeah,
gotta get the ladies to watch it somehow.
I guess
or dudes.
I guess they don't have enough hotness already. They gotta get more. We'll talk about hotness later. Oh yes, we will.
We already kind of got to it. I mean, Zoro's actor is pretty.
Oh, there's one that's hotter.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm curious to know who you think that is.
But yeah, this whole XR Morgan Helmeppo thing is really interesting how it develops. I'm not sure I actually like the way it ends up with XR Morgan, but we'll get into that later. I guess let's switch over to episode 2, unless there's anything else anyone has to say about episode 1.
No. Oh, well, I didn't speak about Nami, but I really like Nami. So yeah, I think she I think, and again, I don't want to say that the actor for Zoro did a bad job because I feel like they told him you had to be, you can't show emotions. You had to be this way, and he kind of just did what they said. But yeah, I think everybody nailed down the characteristic of the Straw Hats in their own way. Kind of translating into live action because you can't do certain things. One Piece is a really gag heavy series, very expressive. You can't do that in live action quite well. You can't like have their jaws drop into the floor and Nami punching Luffy out of orbit. Like you can't do stuff like that. But I think they did a good job of working in the confines of live action while still expressing that they are the Straw Hats.
It would have been really weird if they tried to imitate that shark face thing they do in the manga where there's sharp teeth.
Oh! Faye! What the hell are you doing?
So yeah, this goes into episode 2, which really is one of the first like really great episodes of this series in my opinion. Just solely for the fact of Buggy the Clown. Oda, during the production of this live action, made sure that they got Buggy the Clown completely as faithful as they could. Because this is, according to what I know, this is his favorite character, Buggy the Clown. So, based on that, I think they did a pretty good job. It's not, they obviously had the original creators help with this, but what did you guys really think about episode 2, and especially the introduction to Buggy the Clown and that initial scene in Orange Town when he first shows up?
I thought it was pretty neat. I was already hooked off the first episode, but this one, when we get introduced to another Devil Fruit user, which I guess was also in the same episode, where you found out what Devil Fruit was. I thought they did that very well. I thought that was explained perfectly. Except for the part where if they go in water, they can't use it because that's part of the Devil Fruit curse or whatever. That was never explained. To be honest, I was confused in that scene where he's like, haha, you're in water now. And I'm like, does he have a fear of water? But then, believe it or not, when I was watching it, I said, oh yeah, I think I remember them saying something about if you eat the Devil Fruit, the ocean's your weakness or something. I just remembered it as I was watching it, but they never explained it in the show unless there was a part where I missed. But it was just, I thought that they could have made more mention to that. It just kind of seemed very weird how, Luffy's just in a box and all of a sudden he's freaking out. I'm just like, why is he freaking out? It's just water. But, no, the person who played Buggy the Clown, I feel, like I said, everybody's good in their own right. I feel like he was spectacular. Like, he's up there with the top 3 best characters in the show. For live action, he's perfect. Very perfect. Like, just he had the attitude. He was just all kind of crazy. I loved it. I thought they picked the perfect person. And as you say, Oda wanted to perfect it. Well, I think he did. I think they picked the perfect person.
I love when Luffy says nose, and then Buggy's like, what did you just say?
I remembered that too. Like, he had a thing about him in his nose, because I do remember watching it. He was like, that was awful, you big nose. And then everybody just was like, he called him big nose. And then he just...
That's basically his version of the N-word. They're like... You aren't supposed to say that.
Oh, wait a second. You're that guy. Oh, what's your name? Binky.
Right. He didn't even remember his name. Bucky.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
Two Booker T references in 1 week.
Carp says they explain the weakness to the Devil Fruit users in Luffy's flashback with the bartender.
Well, if they did, I feel like it was like very quick. It was just one of those. Oh yeah, it was with the ocean. Anyway, clean up this mess.
Yeah, I do think it's easier to miss in the live action than it is anime or manga.
Yeah, because I feel like they really hit it hard in the anime. I think that's why I remembered it, was because I was like, oh yeah, this is their weakness. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Buggy the Clown was great. If it wasn't for another character, another role, I would probably say he was the best, acting wise and just portraying a character. Because he played both sides pretty well of being like the bringing the comedy that comes with Buggy the Clown. Like he talks about like the nose gag, and he also was pretty intimidating too in a live action. And I can't remember if Buggy was intimidating to me watching a One Piece anime. I don't think he was, but
he was just kind of crazy.
He had his moments. Yeah, he had his moments, but I think this dude, I think he did a really good job. I think, like I said, playing character Buggy, you kind of had to be Joker-esque to where you're crazy, a little bit funny, but intimidating when you need to be. And he did a good job with that.
Yeah. And I forgot his power was
chop fruit.
Right. Just essentially just coming apart, and
chop that's what
I always thought to myself, how are you going to be intimidating when you're coming apart in pieces? But then when they started showing it, I'm like, oh, okay. I get it now. You don't know when the hand's coming through with the knives and, all these different parts. You can freaking knock his head off and it'll just come right back. I was like, okay. That's making a goofy thing and making it a little intimidating.
I like how they kind of pay homage to a certain arc with Buggy the Clown, where all he has left is his hands, his feet, and his head. And he's just like this horrible little tiny thing. It looks so weird. But
yeah.
I thought Buggy was great. He just has the voice. He had he had all of that stuff down. Like, it felt like Buggy the Clown. Yeah, the charisma that you would think a clown would have, right? And he's so menacing. And it's not the same with Zoro, but it's similar to Zoro, where they definitely made the character seem much more dark. Because, like, we see when he's first introduced, like, he's enslaved an entire town of people to be in a circus. And I
just love the applause. He's just holding it up. Oh, you can clap now.
Yeah.
And people are just, or when people were laughing, ha ha ha. That.
To be fair though, I think he is that dark. It's just that One Piece is a very lighthearted series, and how you portray things, or like the things you choose to focus on, will bring light to different aspects of the character. So with Buggy, they were definitely going for intimidation factor, and then throwing in the comedy there, just with even just the lighting. It was really dark when we went into that circus tent. But yeah, Buggy, I mean, even in the manga and anime, I mean, he's still a pirate, and he's a real pirate. He isn't a pirate like Luffy, where he's helping people. He is plunderer, thief, that type of pirate. So it's just that sometimes when we focus on gags for characters, like, this look at this funny clown, big nose, but he's enslaving people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Look at this fucking clown. Oh, I'm gonna die.
This is also the first episode where we really get introduced to Garp, who later on is revealed as Luffy's grandfather, which I had no clue was the case. But
looks nothing like him.
Maury.
Garp is really interesting. He's like a Marine captain or whatever, and he's the guy who executed Gold Roger, and he's now on the hunt for Luffy and the Straw Hats. And it starts here with him questioning Kobe, and him working with Luffy and stuff.
Kobe.
And as well, the whole Captain Morgan thing comes to an end here. I think it's this episode where they figure out he's corrupt, and just like that, they kind of end his involvement in the story. Like it was just one transitional scene, and it's like, oh, he's tied up at a cross now, like Zoro was in the first episode. So kind of disappointing, in my opinion, what they did with Axar Morgan. At the same time, it's Axar Morgan.
Yeah, he's not a. He's a memorable villain in that. I mean, you say his name, people going to know. Yeah, he has the axe arm, so everybody knows who he is, but nobody really cares about him. Nobody cared who I was until I had the axe arm.
Nobody cared until I put on the axe.
But yeah, I loved Garp in this. Ever since I saw the trailer, like the reveal trailer that showed Garp in it, I was like, who the hell is this guy? This guy has an amazing look.
The guy that plays him, he's a character actor. He's been in so many fucking movies. He was in 300. That's like one of his more well-known. He wasn't Leonidas or anything, but he was like one of the side captains who had a son that got killed in the movie, and he was sad for his son. And yeah, he's a wonderful actor. He always plays these little characters. They're memorable because he always gives it 100%. He was great. He was just doing his thing. I'm gonna guess when we're introduced to him and it's the phone and it does the ro. Is that his laugh in the anime?
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
I don't. Garp doesn't really have a distinct laugh from what I remember. I mean, Garp can correct me, but oh my god, the Denden Mushi's like they did so well with that too, because the Denden Mushi, like the little phone, the
snail
phone
transponders.
Yeah. They in One Piece is so crazy because almost everybody has their own unique one that looks like them or has their characteristics. Like Buggy would have one that maybe has like a big red nose or something like that. Or I didn't mean to say the N word, but
what did you say?
Apologies. Didn't mean to say the N word. But yeah, the Denden Mushis look great. It was scary almost.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Wasn't he feeding them like chips or something like that?
I think so. So they're actually alive in One Piece. From what I know, they're actually alive. So yeah.
Yeah, Nami has one as well. In one of the later episodes, at the very end, she gets a little snail transponder and puts it up to her ear. It's like a little shell. Very very strange. I love the tech in One Piece. I don't know what they call it. If like it's there's NASA punk and there's steampunk and cyberpunk. I wonder if there is a name for this kind of approach that Oda has taken to this, because the tech is so
cephalopod. Well, apparently, according to Garp, Garp's laugh is bwahahaha in the manga.
Oh no!
We're getting
turned into a robot. Yeah.
Someone texted me. I'm sorry. But yeah, Garp the character is cool. I feel like, well, you know what? I'll save it till when we get to the end, when that whole episode happens in episode 8.
Yeah.
I'll wait for that because I have thoughts on that.
Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about Buggy real quick. What did you guys think about him yelling out his finishing moves? Because we saw in episode 1, and they made a joke like, every great hero yells out their finishing move or whatever.
Gum.
Yeah, it sounded exactly. They all sound like they do in the anime, which is really cool. What did you guys think about when the yelling of the names?
I like it.
I like it too. I mean, they do that in anime all the time, so it's not that big of a deal. But I'm sure if somebody was on the outside looking in when it comes to like who's not into anime, they'd probably think it's weird. But at the same time, I feel like they did that stuff in superhero movies too, so it's not too weird. But nah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, I guess let's now get into the whole backstory stuff with one of the more really important characters to the fabric of the story, even though apparently he doesn't show up as much, and that is red-haired Shanks and his red-haired pirates. Through most of this series, there is a lot of flashbacks, and I found the flashbacks to nearly be perfect in my opinion. It had a lot of variety in it. I don't think Luffy's child actor was that good.
I don't think any of the child actors were good, if I'm being honest.
I think Nami's was the best one, but none of them were good.
The Sanji childhood actor was actually not bad, but I feel like all of them were just okay. They're childhood actors. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
You're awful. Go back to school.
It's hard to make a convincing child actor. They're very rare, in my opinion. Like whenever you hear their deliveries, it's always, you can't make me.
Not everybody can be home alone.
You're not my dad.
Right, exactly. I feel like
hate it here.
oh my god. I want to go home. Fucking Jaden Smith. Yeah, but I think the only reason they hired that kid was because he could cry. Because he did the tears really well.
That could
That's
be it.
Yeah. When he got the hat and did the tears. Yeah.
Also, with these flashbacks, I was surprised they had him stab his face like they did in the manga. I was like, before this came out, I was like, there's no way they're doing that. There's no way they're having a kid stab their face. But no. They had a kid actually, stab their face, and that's how he got the scar. And I don't know, that just felt like a lot of balls to me to do that, because I feel like there would be so many, corpo suits that would be like, nuh-uh, you can't do that. That would get us into trouble or something. But they actually went through
kids stabbing themselves in the eye, it's
Back in my day. I'm going to finish.
I used to stab myself all the time. I mean, you want to know how I got these scars?
But yeah, what did you guys think about red-haired Shanks as well? A lot of people, when the trailers first dropped, a lot of people were like, he looks like a dad cosplaying, and I really thought the trailer misrepresented red-haired Shanks, and I think the character ended up surprising a lot of people.
But to that criticism with him being like a dad, or I mean Shanks, at least to me, the way he's portrayed in the anime and manga very early on, he's supposed to seem like just another guy. We know that Shanks is, more important than he portrays him to be. But like for example, like when he's sitting there, the guy disrespects him, he doesn't do anything about it. And Luffy's mad at, why are you taking that disrespect? He's not supposed to portray himself as a grandiose dude, not in the situation in which he's just chilling in the village, like he's like the common man, he doesn't have some crazy body type. He's not wearing weird costumes or anything like that. So I think he is supposed to look like an average dude. I think that's the point.
Mm-hmm. I think he was fine. I mean, we really didn't get to see much of him, if I'm being honest. But the scenes when he was there, I agree, Sasuke. He's just an average dude. He drinks. He sits there with his hat on his head and goes, "Care for a drink?" and just all that other stuff. But I mean, I know he's got some importance later on. And I probably was spoiled because of Twitter and everything, so I know of him in other future events. But other than that, can't really complain. I mean, I feel like the budget mostly went to that CG monster
Oh yeah,
because that was like the best looking CG in the whole show.
Oh my god, yeah, it was,
And
and it looked exactly
it
like
looked-
it did in the manga.
Yeah,
Same
it
design.
looked pretty good. Like, let's face it, this was a low budget series. I feel like the next season is going to have a bigger budget because of the popularity, and it's going to get more people watching because of that. And you know, they did fine with what they had with the special effects and everything. But I get it; it was low budget, so I can't really like argue and say it looked like crap because I've seen some from $100 million studios that look like ass. So
the budget for this was an entire season of Game of Thrones budget.
which, I mean, I know Game of Thrones usually has a big budget, but they do good with their CG. Like, those dragons look really good, but
They spend more on the sets because all the sets are practical in the series.
yeah, I'll say something about the practical effects. I love the fact that there was a good amount of people that had like special like makeup and like all that stuff, like prosthetics and things. Like, I could really appreciate that versus the CG look, because that becomes dated.
Yeah, we need more of this because I thought, I know people clowned Arlong for not looking as giant as he does in the manga because he looks like fucking Master Chief kind of big. But I loved his prosthetics. I loved all the Fishman prosthetics. I thought they were all done really well, and it just adds to it. It makes it feel more real, even though we're looking at it and we can see like that looks hokey in some places. It gives that authentic feeling, and I hope they continue with this because when it comes to the sets, they recreated partially Baradier, and they recreated Alvida's ship and the Going Merry. These are actual real ships that they made.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, wait, we're still on episode 2?
Yeah, episode 2. Red-haired Shanks. What did you anything else about Red-haired Shanks in episode 2?
I believed I liked how Yasop looked. I have to look at him again. That's just I think I liked his look. Lucky Roo, a lot of his crew. People had to point out to me who Ben Beckman was, though, which Ben Beckman is Shank's right hand man. And I did not, for the life of me, I could not recognize him. I looked at them, they were like, yeah, that guy's Ben Beckman. I said, huh? He just looks like some old guy.
I couldn't tell you who that is if they were right in front of my face, to be honest.
Yeah. I was completely lost, but I like the look of the rest of the crew. Lucky Roo with the drumsticks. Oh boy.
I'm all for drumsticks.
The ricochet shot, I loved it.
Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah, you mean when Garp throws the freaking cannonball and then he just flew right back?
Nope. I'm talking about Yasop.
And the flashback. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Okay,
dude,
my bad.
Yes, dude, the action in the flashback was so good. That scene was was really solid. It was really good. But yeah, other than that, really this episode kind of leaves off with Nami contacts basically a mysterious
slug
person.
technology.
Yeah, with slug technology, that she has the map to the Grand Line. And
I got the map. Get your bitch ass over here. Oh, you doing Dora the Explorer?
Yep.
I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm
the map. I'm the map.
So now let's
I
get
wanted
into
to burn that fucking map.
Now let's get into
Sorry.
episodes. No, you're fine. Episodes 3 and 4. This represents the Syrup Village arc, which, just going into it, this is one of the most hated arcs, air quotes, in One
Really?
Piece. Yeah, I don't like this arc in the manga at all.
Really?
I think there's some good things about it. Like, I think, the introduction of Usopp is very important to the series. Obviously, he's one of the most fan favorite characters, and of course, the Going Merry. But other than that, people were really going into this and wanting them to improve upon the original and see if they could do it. And do you guys? Well, for, I guess, Satsuki, this is more of a question for Satsuki. Do you think they improved upon the original Syrup Village here with the live action?
No,
Oh, damn.
they took out the best part.
Oh, shit. What was that?
No, Django.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
EA, we literally had Michael Jackson in One Piece, and they took him out.
Yeah,
You're
Django's
kidding
great.
me.
You love Django.
He's literally one. I'm not joking to you. He was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he was moonwalking and everything.
Oh,
They took him
Why would
out.
they-
I don't know
why
why.
would they get rid?
They
Well,
replaced him. Well,
I might know why.
I won't say they replaced him. They replaced him, but they gave his role basically to those two employees, like the big guy and the cat lady. the nya lady. I was like, what? Bring me Django. I wasn't here for this. Django's so funny. I don't know why they took him out.
His I love his cover story with him and not Morgan. Or is it Morgan? No, it's not Morgan. Do you remember his cover story?
I didn't read One Piece when I got into it. I watched it, so I don't. The cover stories.
Oh my god, his cover story is amazing. It's incredible. One of the best cover stories I've read in my entire life. So good. But yeah, for me, I mean, I thought they improved upon it. It was a bummer not seeing him in it, of course, but I still think it was pretty good. Just because it was shorter. Syrup Village felt like really longer than it was. I think it was just like 15, 14 chapters or something, but it felt like 40 to me. There was not much I liked about Syrup Village. This arc is, of course, the introduction to Usopp, though, he's very cowardly. He's dishonest. He lies a lot. Basically,
Tells a lot of stories.
Tells a lot of stories.
Yeah. I fought 2 pirates with my hands tied behind my back, and I used my head to headbutt each and every one because I was so strong. Yeah, he was.
Dude, his stories are hilarious later on. Amazing. But yeah. So, what did you guys?
Oh my god!
Think
I
about
just saw your
Usopp?
gift, Satsuki. Oh, that's a shame we didn't get him.
Remember what they took from you, EA.
I will remember. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. What did you guys think about Usopp and his introduction?
That was very good. I feel like these characters, the way they're introduced, they all have just a uniqueness to them. And you can easily tell who each and everyone is within a few minutes of seeing them. And I thought they did a good job with Usopp where he's a storyteller. He knows a lot about ships. He himself thinks of himself as a captain and, all that. But he is cowardly, like you said. So that also leads to that. So he's got kind of a sad, tragic story where he lost his mother and his dad's a pirate. And, he's the reason why he lies and says the pirates are coming is because he's a young kid that wants his dad to come back. Dad went and left for milk and never came back. It's unfortunate.
He went and left for One Piece.
I'll be back when I get One Piece, son. I'll be right back. But yeah, that happened to him, and it just, you feel so bad for the guy because even if there were pirates and even if there were things happening to him, no one would believe him, and it showed. And when I was watching these episodes, I was like, how? I just felt so sad because nobody believed him, and the guy who was the butler was great too. He was just like, I think he's had too much to drink and, does this thing, which
Yeah.
I fucking remember why that was. They didn't say it in the live action, but they said the reason he kept doing this was so he couldn't cut his eyes with the glasses. I think that was the last thing that I saw in One Piece ever. Like, was that.
I wish there was more emphasis on that.
Yeah,
Not
I agree.
to say that was like a big reveal, like a great. It wasn't like a great plot twist, but One Piece always does this thing with characters where they introduce a quirk about them or maybe something about their outfit, and then later on they recontextualize it. Sometimes within the art, sometimes even further beyond that. Remind me, because there's something to do with a character in Arlong Park who had the same thing, and they didn't focus on that at all. I want to talk about that if I remember. I may forget that if anybody reminds me. But yeah, with Kuro doing the whole thing with his glasses, yeah, I wish they talked about that a little more, focused on it a little more, just to, because they introduced the quirk, so it was like, okay, good detail, y'all added that detail, but y'all didn't really. You can understand why it's there, but again, they didn't really. It's kind of like an Easter egg for the One Piece fans, almost.
Yeah, I agree. I feel what I also thought was weird, like at the end of this arc too, was the fact that, you find out that this girl that Usopp, really likes, she's been poisoned pretty much slowly with this food, and she's basically Munchausen syndrome, making her believe that she is sick when she's not, and in order to get the family's money or something. Anyway, just the power of her family. They've waited till that day. They did all this other stuff. They weren't secretive about it anymore. They could have killed her in her sleep, but instead, no, they're like, come out, girl. Let's go ahead and kill you now. Why you did all this for years to get this woman to where you want her, and you had her, and you decided, nah, fuck it. Let's just come in with sirens blazing and everything. Let's kill her right now, and not try to hide it or anything. Hell, he could have lied. He could have been like, no, I'm not trying to kill you. These people are crazy. They need to leave. And that would have been that. He could have easily convinced her because he spent all that time. But nope. He didn't deny it. He's like, come here so I can slice you up.
Sorry, continue.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, there's a part of it that is very sinister, but at the same time, I pointed that out when we were watching it in my Discord server. I was like, why?
They turned it to a slasher film.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he Jason Voorhees now?
Because of the claw hands.
I mean, I guess Freddy Krueger in this is.
Yeah.
But I was so confused as to why they turned, because QRW6 says that they turned it into a horror plot. It was weird because Kuro's whole thing, he's called Kuro the 100 Plans or Kuro the 1,000 Plans. I always forget if it's 100 or 1,000. But he's supposed to be very meticulous, and the same thing happens where the plan breaks down and he goes to fight. That makes sense. But it seemed like he just abandoned the plan midway and just said, "Fuck it, I'm Freddy Krueger." Bitch.
Right. I waited all these years, so I can't wait 2 more minutes.
And the whole thing of him just throwing Zoro in the well without killing him.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So that didn't happen in the manga.
Yeah.
Based on how Kuro is, if he got Zoro in that position, he would have just killed him. Because it doesn't make sense to knock him out and then throw him in a well and
bonk.
Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense. I don't even know how Zoro got knocked the hell out because he just got hit with a bottle like he was at the club.
Now he's crying at the club.
He's crying.
I was like, this can't be the same Zoro I know with all the crazy endurance he has. He just got popped in with the bottle, knocked out. I said, okay.
I like how they put him in a well, though. There's something so Zoro about that.
Yeah, the whole reason for the whole reason for the well anyway was to see his flashback and how he had a friend
KOA.
who basically taught him how to fight and stuff. It seems like.
Nah, I love live action Kuina.
We can talk about.
I love live. Yeah.
Satsuki, we can talk about the KOA thing. Fine.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
I'm gonna take
EA.
the chibi off my screen right now. So
Okay, let's see this.
So yeah, so we had to explain the whole stairs thing, and it kind of goes deeper into just the meme of it too. So they don't explain how, or their explanation of Kuina's death in the live action. It was just like an accident, right? That's what they said. That's as far as they explained it.
Yeah, I think it was just an accident.
Okay.
You can't defeat me. I know, but he can. And it's stairs. Okay, continue.
So she dies via stairs. They say in a manga anime,
No
she
way.
falls down the stairs and she dies like that. Now, looking deeper into it, and I don't think this has ever been explicitly said in a manga. It may have been said via interviews with Oda or SBS, additional information with One Piece, but it's basically implied that Kuina's death was a suicide.
Oh,
Because if you remember, when it happens, it's after Kuina has a breakdown, realizing that she'll never be the greatest swordsman because of her being a woman, and regretting being born as a woman. And Zoro tries to encourage her, but due to that, again, heavily implied that it was a suicide, because the whole thing, because everybody makes the joke of, oh, she fell downstairs, ha ha ha. But it's likely that Oda didn't want to explicitly say it was a suicide, especially with this being on the more lighthearted side. I know One Piece has some heavy stuff in it, but keep in mind too, this is very early One Piece, so I just don't think he wanted to just outright state that she did that. But that's the whole thing concerning her death.
Carp says there's another theory that her dad killed her. I've never heard about this.
I've heard of that, but considering what I know in a manga now, I don't think that holds any water. I don't think that make much. I don't think it makes much sense.
I suppose. So yeah, any other thoughts about Kuina and these flashbacks? I thought they were really well done, in my opinion. I thought it did a lot to help Zoro's character and really illustrate his dream of becoming the greatest swordsman in honor of his friend who died at such a young age. And I love the scene where she tells Zoro that, yeah, now she's beating him, and now she's more powerful than him, but one day it's going to be different. One day she's going to be weak, and you can really feel that helplessness of, she doesn't want that to happen, but it will, and she can't do anything about that because that's just nature. And the fact that Zoro says what he says to her, and it really reassures her. And I think, I don't know, she really could in that moment let a little bit of that, of that go because of Zoro. And it's just a really nice backstory. I think probably one of my favorite ones. They're all, honestly, all the backstories are really good, but I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it was very, very solid. I enjoyed it.
That's Kuina beat Zoro's ass. I mean, it was like that in the anime and manga too, but I don't know. Seeing it in live action, I was just like, yeah, that's my gold queen. Whoop his ass, please. It's probably because of two I didn't like live action Zoro.
Yeah.
So I was living vicariously through her, like, like I'm like one of those drunk uncles watching a boxing match. Get right jab, get
Stick with the jab.
Yep. Stick to the body.
Right. Don't let down your guard.
Oh man. But yeah, Zoro. I just wish they did the flashback a little better because him just climbing up the well and getting all the flash, all the memories flooding his mind, and that being like the thing that inspired him to climb out of the well. I don't know. I thought that was a little odd.
It reminded me of The Dark Knight Rises because he did almost the exact same thing.
Yeah, I think someone said that when I was watching it.
Zoro is the Dark Knight.
Oh my god!
I mean, literally,
he is extra edgy now. Oh my god!
That's gonna enhance that scene when I rewatch the series, knowing that
how he fell down that flight it seemed pretty high, and he was knocked out. He's lucky he didn't land on his head and break his neck, but then he fell and just totally fine. I'm gonna climb up here.
Yeah, there is. You would say it like that too. There is a scene in the manga where he gets his abdomen sliced open, and he picks up like a super heavy cage, and they're like, Zoro, you can't do that. Your guts are literally gonna shoot out of your stomach. And he's like, watch me. So he's pretty indestructible.
Yeah, that's why it's so odd for him to get taken down via Hennessy bottle.
Right. A Hennessy bottle does him in, and apparently some stairs.
And those bottles are hard.
Stairs. So we got to rank all inanimate objects in One Piece. Stairs.
And also, he's not good with directions. Like, I know that about him, but I feel like it was never really emphasized in the live action. Maybe once.
I don't think there's an opportunity for him to get lost, to be fair. And he didn't get lost in the first arc either. Or in this first saga.
No, him and Luffy did. When they were together for that brief.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm talking about the anime where he unties him from the cross and he's trying to get out of there and he doesn't know where to go.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that. Okay, yeah.
But they didn't do that in the live action. He's apparently not. He knows directions.
They took a lot of the comedy out. That's what I'm noticing. A lot of the gags.
A lot more dramatic.
Yeah, for sure. Which makes sense. Some of the stuff, if they're trying to appeal to a general audience, some of this stuff isn't going to translate that well. Not saying it's not funny. It's just that they probably want to focus on the more, like C said, dramatic aspects.
Yeah, what'd you guys think about the climax to this arc? With Kuro revealing he's super evil, and his plan, and the final fight is really what I want. What'd you guys?
The final fight was fun. It was fun.
I couldn't believe he was evil.
Right? He only, first of all, even if you didn't think he was evil, he just kind of had those hints of just, I think these people need to leave. It's like, what the fuck does he want to leave all the time?
He looks like an Italian mobster. Like, he looks like he's going to gun you down.
He really does. He looks like he's one of those where, if you're not looking, he'll plug two in the back of your head. Yeah.
The flowers, EA.
Whoa! Yeah. but the fight was pretty cool. That because we saw some of Luffy's fights. We had the Gum, what's it called? Cannon. That was the
did he use cannon, or did he use? I don't know what he used in that fight. But he introduced
a new one where, he used his head, essentially. I think that's what it was, where he just took his head and just knocked him out. That was fun.
Come on, no!
And then,
It was all right. Climax was all right.
Yeah. And then we get the ship at the end.
yeah, the big
And
twist.
I had a feeling that she was gonna give him the ship for basically saving her life. I mean, it's like, you better give me something. But
She gave him clothes.
Usopp,
she's
I have something to give you. I was just wondering, would you like some of this tea? This blue tea? Some of this is the tea Clahador gave me, and I just wanted to give some to you because I have so much left over. So, also, I want to be a doctor.
Side note: they should have did Kaya's makeup a little better. She looked dead.
Yeah, she looked. Yeah,
I think that was the point, because she was getting poisoned.
but she looked really dead.
Yeah, I understand that she's supposed to be sickly, but she looked like a corpse almost. I was like, damn, you're halfway there.
I think
That's
it was
what I'm
the
saying.
lips.
He was almost there. He was like, he should have she would have died that night. Here's some more of your blue shit.
I think it was the lipstick that they put on her. It was the lips that made it look cold and dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had the grayscale.
Luffy ate a bunch of poison and didn't die. How's that possible?
Yeah, Luffy ate.
Does
the
he
whole
have like
damn
an iron
thing.
stomach?
Yeah, Luffy is. I mean, he swallowed a map already. So.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. But I do know that's one of his quirks too, is that he eats a lot. You know, he's like Goku. You know, he just loves to eat.
Yeah,
And then he just
also got shot
ate all
point
that.
blank.
But his skin's made of rubber. He's got the devil fruit. I'm thinking of dirty thoughts now. Maybe.
Well, they do answer that in the SBS. Oda, they asked Oda, like, does his penis stretch? And he's like, yeah, it does.
Gum penis.
I think they also say the same thing for Buggy.
Is he
Like,
circumcised?
no, Buggy has detachable, bits, and I think he confirmed that.
It's all fun and games until you put Buggy together. You go, you're not so tough when you're tied up. We put you together, and then he's like, you forgot the cock. Turns around slowly, cuts to black.
Oh man, but yeah, now we got 4 people in the Straw Hat Pirates.
Yeah. Do you think Usopp like fits really well with the crew and stuff? Like, do you like his dynamic?
He's definitely different. He's not a fighter.
He's
like,
a normal guy.
He's a normal right. He's a normal guy, but isn't his specialty like he knows about the ship and he could like fix it if something goes wrong?
I don't know.
I don't know. We haven't got that far.
I feel like that's what he does. Like because you have Nami the Navigator, Zoro is the first mate, and Usopp, I feel like fixes shit because he's like smart and good with his hands. He has the cool slingshot. He's got that going for him. Oh, and he builds shit. He builds bombs and stuff. So I feel like he fits in.
That was one thing I didn't like in with this arc, Syrup Village. I feel like Usopp was a side character in his own arc. Not to say that Luffy didn't do the same things that he did, beating the big bad and coming there and basically being a hero. That's still the same. But Usopp's contribution to the fight was one ball or something aimed at Kuro, missing, and then getting easily knocked out. That was his contribution. I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, doesn't he do much? Yeah, I think he does much more in Syrup Village in the manga.
It's been a long time, but I definitely feel that Usopp did more than what was shown in the live action.
He had like a whole character arc in there too, like where he was like, "I'm not gonna be cowardly anymore. You've awakened the beast inside of Usopp."
And then he hid under the table. He hid right under the table with Nami and Sickly.
I mean,
Sickly. It's her name now, Sickly.
That's all I know her as. I have a British accent and I love blue goo. Oh.
Usopp, how dare you tell me that my butler is trying to kill me?
I think you need to go home. You
I
bitch.
think you need to get on. You need to get off this island. That's what I think. You are just a liar.
Yes, you tell nothing but stories. I knew all of the pirate stories were fake. I just listened to you talk just to fuck with you.
I mean, I know she was cold for from her because her she's a cold dead corpse, but damn.
Speaking of courses, who's gonna clean up that mansion? There's like no butlers alive.
Well, maybe as we know, Kobe and Helmeppo arrived on the scene to investigate. Maybe they're.
Oh yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. Just seeing, what's his name? Kobe. Oh my god, I'm so bad. Kobe. Okay, that's right. I feel like Kobe was pretty good in that one too. How he was doing his whole investigating, and Helmeppo was just like, "This dude's drunk. Let's just fucking go and take Luffy." And then Luffy's just getting dragged up. He's like, he threw up right on Helmeppo.
Good job, Luffy.
Yeah, and he was just like, "See you later, guys." That was, I don't know. Just that part alone was just really funny to me. And then they just kind of reported back. It's like, yeah, we kind of let him go. My bad.
I like how Carp says in Poor Mary. Yeah, Kuro killed. That was Kuro's first kill. Is
that guy.
The guy who made
the one that looked like a sheep?
Yeah.
Yep.
The architect.
He had to have been. I think he's like part. You remember how they cloned the sheep for the first time? I think he was the experiment that went wrong, and he's just there.
Well,
I want to speak to her.
Well, that's the reason
You
why
ain't
the Going
speaking
Mary,
now, bitch.
That's the reason the Going Mary has a sheep's head on it.
That makes sense. I kind of put the two and two together. I was like, I wonder if that's why. Yeah. Okay. I just spit all over my monitor. I got a little excited there. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I understand.
So, what did you guys think about the ending when they had Garp show up and attack Luffy?
Oh, and that's when he threw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Garp and stuff in this?
Well, that's when it was revealed that he was Luffy's grandpa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I wasn't expecting that because I'm like, I was just saying Garp was just after him because he's a pirate. I'm like, okay, fine. He's after pirates. He killed Jolly Roger. It's all that. But then when it was revealed that he was related, I was like, oh, what? What a twist. I loved the how Luffy inflated himself and bounced it right back at him. That was cool.
I like. Sorry, continue.
I just want to say, I like that because I felt like Garp was a little too stoic too, but that moment he finally let out a laugh at Luffy being able to do that. I thought that was very Garp-esque.
Yeah, I loved it when he got angry. He just started fist pumping because that's all he could do.
Get this motherfucker.
So I guess this kind of goes.
Oh, the dude loves steak.
Yeah, so this goes into episode 5 and 6. This covers the Baratier arc, which is very, very good arc.
It made me want steak. Not gonna lie, I was like, I want this steak.
Well, fun fact: the dish that Sanji was serving where Zeph's like, what is this? That's an actual dish from the actual One Piece like recipe book.
They have a recipe book?
They do. So it's like Sanji's recipes.
No way. And you can make real food out of it?
Yep. And that's
How
one
we
of
get
them.
this book?
you can make what he made in the show that Zeph threw away. But yeah, this
What a name, Zeph the chef.
I don't know where to start with this episode. I don't know if I should go all in with the best part, or we should
Let's
just
go all in.
All right.
Let's go all in. Here we go.
Oh my god.
I know where Buggy's talk went.
I found it. Whoa, it's got a mind of its own.
So I guess we should talk about it. Mihawk, one of the warlords. Oh my god. Talk about.
Oh, that's what you liked.
Yeah, fucking Mihawk.
That's what you thought was hot.
No, oh no, Sanji's hot. Sanji's the hot one. He
Okay.
is hot. I would go gay for that man. 7 times over.
And he's French, right?
Well, no. Well, his nationality within the canon of the manga, but I don't know anything about the actor.
Well, I was more
He's
thinking of
Spanish.
Sanji himself. Well, okay.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be French because the only thing I know about Sanji, and I heard people were mad about this, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't see where it would fit in. But I know he's basically the lovesick type, where he flirts with other women, he's a philanderer and all that other stuff, and just instantly falls in love. Sure, if you want to put it that way. But I love how they went about it with his character. I feel like it was tasteful. It wasn't to the point where he was sexually harassing Nami or anything like that. He was just basically saying the lady knows what she wants, and then like gave her the food and everything. It's a little flirtatious, but nothing that is just like, Nami, you're so, with the hearts in his eyes and everything. I feel like they did him good, and I want to see. It kind of sucks because he was like there at the tail end when we finally are properly introduced to him, and I would like to see more of him because I feel like out of all the characters, we didn't get to see much of him other than his flashback backstory. But as adult Sanji, we need a little more. I feel like
I saved your ass. No, I saved your ass. That's my favorite line.
I love how they immediately just start hating each other because I know in the series, and he called him Mosshead, just like in the series. That's I know that they don't like each other, and it just seemed like so weird how they just started hating each other. I'm like, what did he do to you? He gave you free food.
So Sanji's the best Straw Hat. Sanji's my favorite character in the live action.
All right.
He's great.
Out of all things that was lost in translation, Sanji losing the insufferable pervert gag was the best thing that could happen to his character. I want Oda to take notes and kind of remove that from the manga. I want him to follow the live action version of Sanji. Because Sanji's a great character. Even with the pervert gag. At least early in One Piece. But I think it gets to the point to where, not saying he can't love women, in that that's still present here. But in the manga, it gets to the point to where it's
who's worse, him or Master Roshi?
Oh, Master Roshi is a predator. He's an actual predator. So
if they ever make another live action Dragon Ball, I'm curious to see what they do with Master Roshi.
Oh no. The guy asked for the panties of a 16-year-old girl, so it tells you.
That's what I mean. Would they keep that, or would they how would they uniquely change that?
I don't know. I don't want to find out either.
According to Carp, he says Sanji is worse than Roshi.
Sanji is done. let's say at this point, Carp. Let's just say at this point, we know there's some things about Sanji, but let's just say at this point. At this point, no, he's not worse than Roshi. But yeah, them toning down that perfect gap with him was so great. I didn't think I liked this arc that much as much as I did watching the live action, reading it, because my favorite moment came in episode 6 with really that entire episode, because that's where we got the flashback.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's when we got the goodbye moment between him and Zeph.
Yeah,
and
I love that part.
that one almost got me, like
Same.
almost like tearjerker level. It was really great in my opinion.
That whole story was just really well done. Like, I thought how he actually gave the young Sanji food, and he didn't even have any food. He just ate his own leg and had a bag of treasure, which I was like, wow, that's touching. he cared that much.
Yeah.
For the little eggplant.
Car said they didn't want to miss Don Krieg and Gene.
Yeah.
I do think their absence was pretty loud to the One Piece fans. Expecting them, because Don Krieg had a good fight with Luffy. A lot of people like him as a villain. And same thing with Gene, having his fight with Sanji.
He's really loved.
Yeah, so them being absent is very odd, but honestly, for what the live action did with these episodes, it worked. I wasn't too mad at them being absent, which is weird. You would expect me to have an issue with, they were actually the antagonists in this arc, and they were gone. Mihawk just gets rid of Don Krieg and he's out.
God, Mihawk's so awesome.
I don't know. It worked. It worked for what they went for. So I do miss them in a way, but I don't think I missed them to the level where I thought the arc was ruined because they were absent. It's actually my favorite arc in the live action.
Cart mentions that Pearl gets a cameo. Yeah, he's like dead in the background, like behind Don Krieg. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, no. Speaking of Mihawk's introduction, EA, you're the guy to ask when it comes to Mihawk. What did you think about that introduction?
Literally just a one-man wrecking machine. Yeah, he's strong as hell. He's on the phone with Garp, destroying ships and everything else. I'm just like, this guy's fucking strong. That's why I found it to be interesting later in the 2 episodes where Zoro wants to be the best swordsman, so he challenges Mihawk to a fight. I'm like, I don't think this is going to be such an easy fight. I didn't know how easy it would be for Mihawk. He literally took out his number 2 pencil. No, it was like a butter knife. And he was just, fighting Zoro with it.
Yeah,
like nothing.
So, it's the exact same way in the anime. They pretty much nailed it 1-to-1.
Wow. Yeah, but I didn't know what was going to happen with this character because he was strong. He was a hired gun or sword, so to speak. And it didn't seem like he was a bad guy, because ultimately he did kind of show Zoro a little bit of respect. He was like, hey, if you ever want to come back and fight me, I'll challenge you anytime. He wasn't being disrespectful or anything. I was just like, okay, so he's a strong warlord, and they explain the warlords and what they do. But he's not like this evil villain like Arlong or anything like that. He's basically just, he does what he wants. There's no one that can tell him otherwise. I mean, yeah, the Marines tell him what to do, but essentially it's up to him if he wants to go with it or not. Because even after he was told to do something, he was like, yeah, I just decided not to do it. I hired you. And he's like, yeah, and you can't tell me what to do. So it was like, well, how are you going to argue with that? You know what I mean? It's like, you cannot, somebody that strong, you're not going to tell them what to do. You know, essentially that's one of those, you cut your losses and you say, well, sorry to bother you. Have a good day. But no, I thought it was neat.
What did you think about his like his giant sword?
Totally anime.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. If anime isn't within a picture, it's that. The giant sword. Or even Japan, for that matter. You know, Final Fantasy VII, Berserk, you name it. They have something about big swords that they just love. And, yeah, it's... When I saw it, I'm like, yep, he can fuck people up with that. I mean, he took out a ship with one swipe.
Dude, that was such a great introduction for his character. Satsuki, what did you think about Mihawk's portrayal throughout the entire series? But we'll get to that later. But mostly episodes 5 and 6.
I like Mihawk. Definitely like the. I didn't know how they were going to do the whole mustache thing. I think was he in the trailer? I think he was in the trailer.
Yeah, a little
bit. But yeah, I think as far as his involvement in the story, it's pretty much the same as the anime and the manga. You know, shows up, does his thing. Zoro challenges him as someone who aspires to be the best swordsman in the world. He gets humbled, realizes he's nowhere near that level. Not even by his defeat, but how he got defeated. You know, he takes out the weenie sword, and he's like, "This is all you get. You're too weak." So no, I think Mihawk was pretty cool. I don't think I had any complaints with him. I didn't feel as emotional for the Zoro moment though, where he gets defeated and he basically reinstates his role with the Straw Hats and says he's never going to lose again. It just, I don't know, it wasn't that emotional, but that doesn't really have anything to do with Mihawk. It's just, that's the moment that comes from Mihawk coming in the arc, so. But no, Mihawk is cool.
Yeah.
I don't hunt rabbits with a cannon. Which is funny, because a Satsuki quote I always love to say is, it may be from something older, but she says a lioness will use all of its strength even when hunting rabbits. So different philosophies.
EA, when it comes to Sanji's backstory, did you expect them to portray it the way they did, like with him bashing off his leg and they're being stranded for over 100 days? I think it was.
No, not at all. I thought they were going to get saved right away, but I mean, just how long they were there, and just you saw like they were sunburned because of just the fact that they were out for so long, and the dry just dry lips, and yeah, just you really got a sense of just desperation to live and just living off a few scraps of food that you were given. But to me, the twist was just the whole fact that he cut off his own leg and ate it just so that he could, like, and Zeph to have
get the status shot.
Stupid phone. Do I have it now?
It's still there a little bit, but it's less relevant.
Get out of here.
Proceeds to throw it across the room.
I did. How about now?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. No static shock coming. But yeah, long story short, that was a twist I wasn't expecting with Zeph at all. That was one of those, holy crap. Because he told him to stay over there and he was being mean to him the whole time, but I guess he didn't want to see him eating his own leg. So yeah, that was And then you just saw how nice he really was, because when it came down to the last few things of bread, and I love the attention to detail with the bread, it had like mold on it, but he was still eating it because, you know, if you want to survive, that's what you're going to do. And why does he have more food than me? I'm going to go over there and get some. And then that's when he was shocked. He's like, why did you do that? And he didn't really have an answer for him. But yeah, that was, wow. Wasn't expecting that at all, to be honest.
I think there's layers to that backstory too. Go ahead, see, because I was going to go on.
I was just gonna say, I love the detail of the belt he wears as a pirate. It's just like spices, and I love how when Sanji as a kid goes to attack him, he yells out because Zeph picks oregano, and Sanji goes, "Oregano is for savages," and then attacks him.
Little, no, I was about to say, he didn't call him cucumber. He's an eggplant.
Yeah.
I was going to say that backstory is so good. There's so many great layers to it. That the live action, I was talking about like them not emphasizing certain things, like with the Kuro backstory. They really emphasized that plot twist, and I think that's why that episode in particular resonated so much with me, because you know, EA talks about like the shock of, oh, he ate his own leg, and you know, there was no food in that bag the entire time. You know, that's a great plot twist, and it kind of happens exactly like that in the manga, as far as how the twist was and how it looked. You know, from Zell's point of view, you know, he kind of doesn't want, because he doesn't know how long they're going to be on the island. He doesn't know if they're going to survive. So he just gives Sanji the food. He has all the gold and treasure. And that's also, too, something that I like about the backstory that really isn't focused on. The fact that something that the pirates strive for, treasure and riches and, you know, gold and all that stuff, it became useless in actual survival. Like, it didn't matter. It was dead weight, you know. The only thing that mattered was the food. And that's a key this is a key point in Sanji's life, not wanting people to waste food. Like, that's a big part of his character. But no, I think it was more than just him not wanting Sanji to know that he, because I don't think he planned on eating his leg initially. But I think it's a thing of he didn't want Sanji to feel guilty over having all the food, you know, because he already made in his mind that, you know, I'm going to let the kid survive, basically. If worse comes worse, you know, he didn't want him to have that, you know, why did you give me the food when, you know, he didn't want him to think like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was really good.
Good backstory. Great backstory, actually.
I love how they're both unified in their dream of finding this place called the All Blue, where it's just a place where every kind of fish, any kind of taste, it all exists in this. It's the grand line for chefs, and it's like it's another thing where it's Sanji's own little unique little you know, dream that nobody else has. Because, like, you know, Luffy, One Piece, Zoro, greatest swordsman, Usopp,
bravest man, bravest man on the sea.
He's already conquered it all. I mean, what can I say? Usopp the Great, right? But Sanji's got the All Blue, and I just love how they kind of connect to that, where Zeph really sort of comes off as like a very much like a father figure to Sanji. And I think that's why at the very end, when I'm kind of it's kind of affecting me right now talking about it, just recalling it, but that scene where they say goodbye to each other, and it just feels so earned, that scene, because you know what they went through. And
yeah,
Zeph is, telling him to go pursue his dream. It's actually even more heartbreaking in the original, because in the original, what they do is they basically kind of like stage this thing where they basically tell Sanji, "Oh, your food sucks. You're the worst. Get out of here. You're fired. We don't like
kicked
you."
Out. He gets kicked out of Baratier, from what I remember.
Yeah, and they do it really savage, like in a very savage way. They make it seem like Zeph hates Sanji, and everyone there hates Sanji. So it's pretty rough in that one, but this one is rough in a different way. It's just, you can really, really tell these two really love each other, and it's one of those things where Zeph, he just can't, at this point in his life, he can't find the all blue, but he can empower the next generation with Sanji to go out there and find it, and they can share in that dream together. It very much, it's just a very, very, it's a really good way to endear us towards Sanji's dream and really want him to achieve it.
Cart can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the way the manga and anime went as far as Sanji's departure and him joining the crew was that he was hesitant on joining them and he's hesitant too in the live action, but he takes it upon himself to leave anyways. But it's more, he's hesitant about leaving Zelf because he's been with Zelf. He, like you said, father figure to him. And it's Zelf that basically just pushes him out, and does what you said, stages the whole thing. Everybody hates Sanji, kicks him out of there. I think that's how it goes. But in live action, it seems that Sanji just has more agency and more. He takes the initiative to leave himself more so, which I don't have a problem with the change. I think both it works either way. They did the goodbye moment really good. And probably why it hit so hard is maybe this is one of the first healthy parental relationships we got in One Piece, because it's like Luffy's dad, don't know where they at. Mom, don't know where they at. Nami, that's later. Usopp, dead mom, absent dad. Zoro's dad, don't know. Mom, don't know. Garp, grandfather, chasing down pirates grandson. Pretty emotional relationship.
Yeah. So the big twist at the end of this arc is that Nami is revealed to be working with the fishman Arlong and his Arlong pirates. And they want the Grand Line, and that's what they've contracted her to do. So this whole entire time, she's been thinking, in the back of her head, oh, I gotta betray these guys eventually. And along the way, throughout these two episodes, she starts to question her role in the group and her relationship with all of them. And she comes off very much as, this kind of
loves them.
Yeah, she loves them, but it's hard for her to accept that, because the only life she's known is doing it solo, right? So she comes off as very, kind of almost like a chip on her shoulder in a way, but very, hard-headed. Very much like, there's that drinking game she has with Zoro where she's like, you don't know me. You don't know anything about me.
Never have I ever.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting portrayal of Nami, and I really enjoyed it. It's basically the same thing in the original, but it really got me invested a lot in her character, because she was so conflicted about it, because she is starting to love the Straw Hats. And
what's the quote in Rent a Girlfriend? I don't not like Straw Hats.
It's I don't like him, but I don't not like him.
I don't not like the Straw Hats.
Yeah, it is so dumb, but that's essentially what Nami is, except Nami's better.
Yeah, she's way better.
A little better than Chizuru, I would imagine.
I don't like him, but I don't not like him.
I don't not love them.
Her liver is probably worse off. Chizuru's liver is probably way better.
Yeah. Well, we'll say that from when she's dead and when we need an organ donor.
Ding dong, she is dead. Which oh which, she is which.
Nami wakes up, wonders why she just woke up.
That's because of Chizuru's liver. Thank you, Chizuru.
Yeah.
Now you're finally useful. Gave your liver to a better character.
Yes.
Also, EA, when you said earlier that, remember when you said Goku looks 30? Believe it or not, Nami's actress in this is 30.
Oh, well, she looks great for 30.
I was about to say that's a fine 30.
Not to say being 30 makes you look decrepit or anything. I'm in my 30s, but
she's in my range. 4-year gap. We take those.
But no, she looks great. Yeah, with that twist at the end, I knew something was going to happen because she was on her snail phone talking to somebody. So yeah, I feel like the snail tooth connect. But I guess I didn't expect it to be Arlong. I knew it was going to be somebody, but then Arlong is just cool looking. Can I just admit that first and foremost? He's badass. He kind of talks like this when he talks because he's got nothing but sharp teeth, and I don't know, very intimidating. Like out of all the villains, I mean Buggy, like I said, he's great, but there's just something about Arlong where you just look at him and you know you don't want to piss him off. He's just like, can I get you something? Yes.
Oh man.
Give me a fucking steak. Yeah.
I would love for you to read Arlong Park in the manga. Just because there's so much interaction between him and Nami that's so good. Like some of the stuff we don't get in the next arc or the next couple episodes. It's just so it's so great. But yeah, Satsuki, what did you think when Arlong showed up? A Brian of all things. That's weird.
I can't repeat what I said when he showed up. But let me try to get you guys into the line of thinking.
You can bleep it.
No. I'm not saying that on this podcast, but
okay.
The fishmen are black.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that they kind of portrayed fishmen as that. Yeah, I kind of saw that too. I was like, oh, okay.
The fishmen are black. They show up, and every time I would just hear a beat. I hear the drum roll. I hear the claps. I was like, the actor is black too. Like
yeah.
But
he was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But Arlong showing up when he did, scooping up Nami, certain changes
in the ocean.
Oh yeah. Get out of rubber, bitch. I mean, I like it. I like it.
I Sanji without a shirt on. It was a great moment.
That did happen. This Sanji's way better than the other Sanji. Make this Sanji canon.
Fun fact,
Make this Sanji canon.
Fun fact, EA and Satsuki. Sanji is based on a young Steve Buscemi.
Really?
Yeah. You can really see it with the manga.
I didn't know that. But yeah, I can... Well, Steve Buscemi's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
Hello, fellow children. That's what people know him as now. Now that he's older.
Well, anything else about these two episodes? Are we ready to move on to Arlong Park?
Arlong Park. Arlong Park. Arlong Park. Uh-oh. Here come the fishmen.
They just show up beatboxing all of them.
Oh my god.
Uh,
Now, good thing they didn't go full on with the stereotype and just they all had grills or something.
Yeah.
well, you know,
Shark teeth grill. I mean,
If the ship
I don't
had
want them to do that. I want them to do that now. Not all of them, just one. Just Arlong.
so there's another thing that you just reminded me. Remember Satsuki in the manga when, or I guess the anime, when Arlong sheds his teeth and uses his shedded teeth as a weapon? That was so cool.
Did he do that against Zoro or Luffy? I forgot. He did.
Luffy.
That,
he did Luffy.
okay.
Yeah, he shed his teeth.
He didn't fight Zoro in the live action, did he?
No, I don't.
I don't think
Zoro
I never saw him fight Zoro. No.
Zoro fought Hachiman. Hachiman was the dumb fishman.
No. I know that was his fight, but I'm saying in the live action he didn't fight because Arlong has that thing with Zoro where he, because you remember, because this happens in the aftermath of the Mihawk thing, and he sees his scars. He's like, "How the fuck are you still moving?"
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a great moment with the whole scars and stuff. His
Yeah.
injuries.
Zoro's just like, "It's nothing. I'm fucking crazy."
Tis but a flesh wound.
Yeah. Somebody needs to make like the virgin live action Zoro and then put it with the Chad Zoro, because live action Zoro gets taken out by Hennessy bottles and the manga Zoro is tanking Mihawk slashes, still moving around as if it's nothing. Oh man. Because I believe that Arlong believed that Zoro was the leader of the Straw Hats initially. I think. I may be wrong. It's been a long ass time. I haven't watched this since I was a teenager. But I believe that he fought Zoro. And Carp says, yeah, he fought Zoro Sanji. I think he thought that Zoro was the leader. Because that's when Luffy pops up and, breaks the door. He's like, "Which one of you are Arlong?"
He goes, "Sup, guys?"
"Hello, I'm Goku."
I want to fight.
Well, this next arc is based on the Arlong Park arc in the East Blue Saga. This is the last arc in both the live action and the original. And this one is really interesting because it focuses on Nami's backstory primarily. And Arlong's... he's taken over a village. I think it's called Cocoa Village.
Yes, I believe so.
They like their oranges.
They do. It's all because of Belmere, which is Nami and Nojiko's. Nojiko is Nami's sister. They're, I guess,
not even my real sister.
Oh my god.
She was so mean. She was like, "You're not my mother. She's not my sister. And I hate everything. I hate goddamn oranges."
That was, dude, I felt like there was more build up in the originals.
There was. One character they didn't really focus on in the backstory too much was I cannot remember his name right now. Oh, maybe you have the name. Let me check. Do you have the name there? I don't think you do.
Nezumi?
Wait. No. It's the pinwheel guy.
Oh, the pinwheel guy.
I could look it up.
The human pinwheel.
Pinwheel guy. Genzo, that's his name, Genzo. They didn't really focus on Genzo. And I just remembered it. So when I was talking about things being recontextualized, right? He has something important with Nami. And actually, I don't think they didn't do the Nami tattoo thing, right? They didn't focus on that, did they?
They showed it.
They did.
I remember them showing it.
She stabbed it like she did in the original, and because it wasn't like they didn't like explain the tattoo outright. I don't think.
Yeah, see, okay, so she has a tattoo because she's a part of Arlong's group or whatever. This is sort of spoiler stuff, but I really, based on them already leaving the island, I don't know if they're going to do it anymore because Nojiko is the one that does it, I believe. But Nami gets a new tattoo.
Oh.
On that arm that or she, I guess, redesigns it. And
Does she get the words "mom" attest?
I'll show you a picture of it. I'll show you a picture of the tattoo.
All right.
That's a pretty cool design.
I can't wait to see it. If it's mom, I'm gonna laugh.
Hopefully this shows up. It's showing as.
Let's see.
You see it? Did it show up?
Yeah.
So yeah, you see it. It's a pinwheel. And growing on it is a tangerine.
Yeah.
So okay, we understand what the tangerine is there for, but the pinwheel is there because Genzo used to wear a pinwheel on his head all the time.
Yeah. They didn't have that in here.
At all. And that's why I was saying like recontextualize, because when you first see Genzo, he has the stupid pinwheel on his head, and you're like, why is this guy wearing this? And again, this is the instance of things being recontextualized. The reason why he wears the pinwheel is because as a kid, Nami used to be scared of Genzo all the time because he just has a scary face, I guess. So he used to wear the pinwheel to make her soften up to him and be able to talk to Nami and make her happy with the pinwheel. So that's the reason why she has the pinwheel tattoo and then the tangerine growing out of it. It's kind of almost as if she's paying homage to, of course, her mom, Bellamere, and also kind of her surrogate dad in a way, Genzo with the pinwheel. So that's a moment I really wasn't focused on. It was absent in live action that I really liked.
Well, yeah, I mean, what did you guys think about Nami's past, the whole Bellamere stuff, Bellamere's death, and Nojiko's role in all this? And
this is again with the childhood actor where they're all either bad or average, but this one with the my sister, not my mom. But then when it got to where you see the fishmen come in there and they want the money, but then they realize the mother admits to the kids being down there, which I kind of thought was weird. I said the same thing that Nami said. What did you say? Why did you say anything? And I forgot what she said, but essentially she died, and I almost feel like she kind of stupidly died. No offense.
See, yeah, I wanted to see how you felt about that moment because a lot of people had the same opinion as you, that it was stupid. Which I understand why you say it's stupid. It is in the sense
like because she didn't have to say anything. She could have just lied and said, "I don't know, I had company over. Now they're gone."
It's one of those moments to where the practicality of it makes no sense because obviously you saying people live there is going to put your life in danger. It's more supposed to be symbolic of I'm not going to deny my children because they're my children. It's that's what it's going for, but I could see why it looks stupid.
Yeah, and I get that, but it's like there are so many other ways you could do that. Why in that moment do you decide to do that? It's like, you're going to die, they're going to die. You don't know what's going to happen. I just feel like that was kind of a weird death, in my opinion.
Good mom, though.
Yeah.
She was,
She did good. Even though Nami spit in her face.
She was in the Marines and basically took care of two kids that had no relation to her,
Yeah.
Whoa, why do I look? Oh, never mind. I was like weird on the screen for a second.
Calm down,
glitching heavy.
Sasuke, you look great.
Thank
you. You always look great. Come on. Come on. Oh, you're a tiger, baby. You're a tiger.
No, that's Miss All
and
Sunday.
I'm spent.
That's not Satsuki, it's Miss All Sunday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss All Sunday. Okay, yeah. chicken, chicken. Oh yes, chicken. All right, look over here, chicken, chicken. Yeah, you're looking great, chicken,
On the
chicken,
good side?
chicken. Yep, got the good side, baby. Chicken, chicken.
Okay.
And I'm spent.
And scene. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, we were talking about a backstory. But no, yeah. I really like her. I really just love adopted or found families. Just because, you know, with not having a blood relation and taking care of somebody that you don't have to, you know, you don't have any responsibility necessarily to take care of them. It just makes things a little more emotional in my eyes. And yeah, Bellamira was a good mom. Like I said, I know why her death would look stupid, but I like the the symbolism in that she didn't want to deny her children's presence. You know, good moment. But
yeah. I mean, what did you guys think about Nami's entire arc throughout this? Nami's an interesting character in East Blue. I feel like her entire character is weaved throughout this entire arc. From the very moment she shows up, you're always given hints to who Nami really is. And once we finally get to Arlong Park, Nami gets this big, grandiose kind of, you know, reveal on, you know, who she really is. And
yeah,
what you guys think about that?
I mean, when she's first introduced to us, she talks about her hatred of pirates. We don't know why. We don't know why she hates pirates because she's a pirate herself.
A thief.
So, yeah. So that was the big thing with her. Why do you hate pirates exactly? Who made you hate pirates? And why are you so greedy? You know, everybody likes money, but Nami's takes it to a different level. But yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I feel like, because I know that's her thing in the anime, she loves money. You know, she sees money, she has those, you know, silver dollar, you know, money signs coming out her eyes and everything. I feel like in the live action, it didn't really show that, other than the fact that she needs money, you know, to save the world. No,
Skylar, where's the money?
What money, Skylar? Where is it? I gave it to
Ted. I love that cross face scene.
That is probably one of the best scenes in all of Breaking Bad. Just the perfection of him screaming in fear to turning to just mad and just crazy insanity, just laughter. Oh,
I've
couldn't have done it any better.
I've done that one.
Oh,
I'm going crazy almost in the range of almost the same. Screaming out anger, you know, nothing but pure anger, and then the resignation and just laughing and being the only thing you have left and going crazy.
Yeah.
I swear I'm not crazy. Don't put me down.
No, you're fine. But yeah, I really enjoyed this character. I like what they did with her a lot. I was a little worried, and I only say this because I've noticed it in modern cinemas and in shows, like how they like to do the Rey Skywalker, girl boss, Mary Sue type thing. I didn't know if they were going to go that way with Nami's character. I'm so glad they didn't. Not to say
punches Arlong. Yeah,
right.
That's for my mom.
Exactly, and I was, and even if she did, like, Luffy's the hero. It seems to be a trend in, like, modern day movies. Like, they just like to take our heroes that we grew up with and just turn them into hermits that are just a shadow or shell of their former selves. And yeah. I'm so glad they didn't do that with this. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the creator was on set, because I guarantee if he was there, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
but
apparently, because the same people who did this did the Cowboy Bebop live action. Apparently, their big lesson from that was getting the original author on board, and that's I think they said like without the author, this would have never worked, and that's why Cowboy Bebop didn't work.
Well, yeah, they had an interview with Watanabe, and he was like, "I have no involvement whatsoever. I don't even know what the fuck they're doing with it." Was his words?
If I was him, I would be like, "You hear the music they playing? You know that's not me."
Right. You hear the music. You see the script writing, and you are a black male.
No, it's you're black and a male.
Yeah. And it was talking about blackmailing. I think I dropped it after that. Like shortly after, I was like, "No, this is not the series."
That was not it.
Yeah, and just everything was wrong about that.
The crew here made it when they're interviewed. They made it seem like Watanabe didn't want involvement, which goes directly against the other story, which was they didn't want his involvement. So I don't know which ones. I think it's somewhere in the middle, maybe. But
yeah,
I don't. They definitely learned from that for sure.
Yeah, but I guess what I was getting at, because I know maybe I went on a little tangent and whatnot, it was that I enjoyed Nami's character, and I thought that the way that they depicted her was really good, and the fact that there was layers to her. She wants to keep to herself. You know, she doesn't want to include people in her life because, you know, if she does, she's afraid she'll get betrayed because she's been betrayed so many times. Yeah, it's really good character.
Yeah. What did you think about what did you think about when they first arrive at Arlong Park with all of them like after what did you think about the scene where Nami stabs her tattoo? Because that's and she asks Luffy to help her, and Luffy puts the straw hat on her head. That's a huge scene in the anime and manga. What did you, EA, think about that? Because this is the first time you've seen this.
Yeah. Well, that was... The Marines are basically corrupt. I think that's easily can be said. There's a few good ones, but a good majority of them are just like, give us the money, Arlong. But they took her money. Arlong wasn't going to keep his promise because, you know, he's a pirate. Yeah, she gets fed up with everything, runs away, and just starts stabbing it away. That's basically her breaking her chains, saying, "Fuck this! I don't want anything to do with this." But the whole straw hat scene, and then Luffy puts it on her. That's basically a recreation of what who's the red hair guy? Shanks. Thank you. Did with him as a kid, essentially giving her comfort, you know, saying, you know, you don't have to be alone. I'm here to help. And she even asks him for his help too. And, you know, Luffy's like, yeah, you're my friend. I just really like that scene because essentially that just shows how kind-hearted Luffy is and how much he believes in others and their dreams. And when he sees that his friends are in need and in danger, he won't even think about it. He'll stop whatever he's doing to help them. And I really like that scene. It was really good.
QRW6 says IGN gave this a 6 out of 10 because it was too close to the source material, and they gave Cowboy Bebop a higher rating.
I'm not surprised. They fucking recently found out that Rotten Tomatoes critics have been bought off, which I'm not surprised. So I don't believe any reviewers because it's just whatever. I go in with my own expectations.
Yeah, same. Satsuki, what did you think about the Help Me scene? Do you think it lived up to it?
No, but I didn't think it was bad. The reason, and here's my whole thing with it. So everybody with One Piece being a long series, and it it really depends on when you got into One Piece. But when I got into One Piece, it was maybe 700 chapters out, 600 chapters, something like that. So everybody, when they get into One Piece, looks for a moment to anchor them into the series. What's the moment that hooks you in? Everybody's looking for that because a lot of people find the beginnings of it boring, or they're just like, where does this lead? Like, when does it get good? Everybody asks that. Any series. And for me, the moment that hooked me to One Piece, in which I went, okay, I'm willing to go the long haul with this series, was the Nami help me moment. I thought it was very great for her character. And normally I wouldn't like scenes in which like we're doing the whole thing of the woman being in distress, but I thought it was great because one of Nami's character flaws is that she went about this whole thing alone. She went the solo route. She wanted to play the villain, join Arlong's crew, collect all this money by herself, and she didn't trust anybody. And in this moment, she's desperate enough and finally open enough and vulnerable enough to ask for help and rely on her friends, which she felt like she couldn't do that before. So I thought it was very great for her character, but I just don't think the live action scene resonated with me as well as it did in the manga and anime, because that moment definitely made me tear up for sure. And it, like I said, it was the hook for me when it came to the series. And I don't think the live action scene was of the same magnitude emotionally for me, for whatever reason that may be. I'm not quite sure, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it was more subdued. After I first saw it, that was literally my reaction. Well, that was not as great as I thought it was going to be. Like, it was kind of quick. It was just, they got it over with. And I'll show it to EA after the stream ends, but the scene is much longer. Or at least it feels that way. It may be shorter, I don't know, but or it may just be as long. I don't know, but I did.
Or Arlong?
Ah. But yeah, I felt it was more subdued in this one, which was kind of surprising, I think, because I felt like many people going into this, especially longtime fans, we were all saying, how are they going to do this one moment? This is one of the, the moments that, defines this series.
I mean, I liked it. And that's just somebody that has never seen the anime or manga, so I mean...
EA will really like the anime version, I think. It's really good. It's really well done.
We gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Live React?
Live React.
We're gonna get copyrighted.
We're just gonna, the stream's gonna get taken down because it's,
No. Let's play some non-copyrighted music. Let's just...
It will. No, it will.
Linkin Park.
I think it's Toei, right?
Yeah, Toei.
Yeah, it's Toei.
Yeah, Toei will destroy us. So they don't like it.
They're gonna, Toei always has like the DBZ sound effects. They're gonna make the Kamehameha sound effect. And they copyright us.
You just hear in the distance.
Hey guys, can you quiet down the Kamehameha thing? We're watching the Nami scene. No, see.
Yeah.
We aren't doing it. It's Goku.
We all just blow up. You see the stream just end tragically. Kira W6 is like, what just happened?
So yeah, what did you guys think about the final showdown between Luffy and Arlong at Arlong Park?
It felt way too quick.
What did you think about his sword when you walked out with the sword? Did it?
Whose sword? Whose sword? Sanji's sword in between his leg? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we can talk about that. I don't know if we can talk about that on stream. But
Different
Arlong
podcast.
had a sword.
Yeah, it was like shark teeth, and
Oh.
Luffy grabs it and he like
Oh yeah,
crushes
yeah, yeah. The fights were fine. It just felt like everything was wrapped up in like 5 minutes. It was really weird because it's like we had this epic build up towards Arlong and him being strong and all the fish people and everything. And it was cool. Sanji's fighting, Zoro's fighting. I love how it just kind of Sanji just automatically knows how to fight. And we know he knows how to fight. He's usually with his legs and everything, but he's regarded as a cook, but he's just like, I'm a fighter now too. I thought that was kind of like, oh, okay, he can fight. No training whatsoever. Well, again, the live action is just, it feels that way anyway. I'm sure in the manga or anime it explains where he gets his fighting from. But
Zeph is a pirate, and they're ship. They're a restaurant pirate ship, so they all have to know how to fight.
Okay.
For fear that they're going to get invaded.
I mean, it just didn't. I don't know. It just felt weird. Like it just he just automatically knows how to fight. I guess if you're with pirates, have to know how to fight. But at the same time, you have people that are with pirates that don't know how to fight. So I guess it just seemed weird to me. What was I saying? Oh yeah, everybody was fighting. Sanji and Zoro's arguing, doing their whatever stuff. That seems random too, to me. Then Luffy's fighting Arlong, and it felt like it was just wrapped up when the whole building falls down, and that was it. The Usopp fight scene was really funny because he finally got that slingshot fireball and burn on fire. Yeah, that's right. No one's around to see me do it. Oh, that was really funny. But other than that, it was fun. I just wished it lasted longer. That's just me. That's the action buff in me.
What you think?
I agree. I think it went over in the Flash as well. Like I don't think the emotional impact of Arlong was that great in these two episodes. I thought his introduction was great.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things he was doing, like his scheming and conniving and this evilness and the flashback, but the ending of it and then the fight itself with him and Luffy, it's just it went along too fast. I don't think
it didn't go R long. It went R short.
R short, yeah. Short. Yeah.
Well,
I feel the same.
What'd you guys think about Buggy coming full circle in this last episode and him finally getting him reunited with his body?
Great moment.
It was funny. I just found it weird how his whole body was constructed. Wait, was his whole body put together just laying somewhere except his head?
Well,
is that how I remember it?
Yeah, no, he was beheaded.
Or did he put... No, well, I know that, but what I mean is what am I trying to say?
Well,
I feel like his body was just laying around, and because I know it can split up into pieces and everything. I didn't know if he put it back together piece by piece, or if he just...
Oh yeah, he did in episode
missing
2
the head
at the very
end. That's what I thought. Yeah, it was fun because Buggy was there to help him. Because I forgot why he was even there to begin with, but I was like, oh, okay, that's why. His head's there to tell him where his body is, and that's where he's going to lead them to Arlong Park because Nami left without a trace. So, yeah, that was fun. The best part, got the body back together, and he just double middle finger and just walks out. Like, later, guys! Yeah,
I love Buggy.
That was fun. That was fun. I'm sure that's not the last time we'll see him, or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what One Piece.
He's a huge fixture in the series.
Oh, okay. So we'll see more of him then, which is great because he's the guy that plays him is perfect.
I don't think there's ever been a single moment with Buggy that I thought was bad. or horrible or whatever. I'm pretty sure like every moment I've seen Buggy so far, I've went, that's great.
No, he's pretty good in live action.
Well, I mean both
Like-
live action and manga.
Manga, he's not one of my favorite characters in the manga, but I enjoy him. I don't think I have an issue with Buggy.
Oh man, I love him. I love him when, well, I can't say, but yeah, and this is also where at the very end we have everything kind of come full circle with the Garp and Luffy and Kobe and Helmeppo storyline. What did you guys think about how that wrapped up?
That's where I had thoughts.
Uh-oh, EA's thoughts.
Yeah, I thought the side story, or what would you call it, just the B plot throughout this series was a complete waste of time. They did all of that just so that Garp could convince Luffy not to be a pirate. And Luffy said, "You're never not going to convince me because I'm always going to believe this." And then he went, "Okay." And then that was it.
He was like, you passed the test.
That was so stupid.
Oh my god.
Like, I literally was like, wait, so that's it? You go through all these hours of interrogating people, going across the sea, all this other stuff, you get these people on board, and yeah, even I thought it was a really neat scene, at least with Coda, where he was literally just like, "I'm not going to follow your order." I thought that was neat. And Melpo was like that too. It's like, "Nope, I don't want it." Do you agree with him? Yep, no, Mom. Like, that was cool. Like, that was the only part I'd say, like, nice character growth with him. But just the story of him trying to get to Luffy, and just for him to just say, we're good now, and walk away like nothing ever happened, was really annoying to me. Like, I was like, so you did all that just... He reminded you of Gold D. Roger just because of his smile and his determination, and that was it? Oh, I don't know. I didn't really like that all that much. Like I say, it felt like a huge waste of time to me.
Yeah, some intel on this part. They had to convince Oda to put this in the live action. This whole, as you call it, the B plot. He had to be convinced of it, and he didn't want to do it at first, and they had to hammer away at it. And I think when he finally saw it, he was like, "Oh, okay, I see what you guys are doing." I think I want to get Satsi's thoughts on this too. What did you think about how the way the Garp stuff ended?
Wasn't too satisfied with it. For how much they were putting Kobe and Garp in to the present time with the Straw Hats, basically, not exactly sharing screen time with the Straw Hats, but like they were getting a good chunk of the time. It made the conclusion of it made it feel like all that other stuff was filler, like in canon filler, because we could project that this stuff was happening with Kobe, because in the manga and stuff, Kobe and Gart's time together is largely off screen. And they show up here and there, but it's not as much as it was in live action. In live action, like I said, they are in every single episode, and it's not supposed to be that way. And I think not having them show up all the time allows you to speed Kobe's progress along in a way that makes us suspend our disbelief a little bit, because and I'm not even talking about like strength wise, I just mean character wise, for how much Kobe is supposed to grow. Because like Kobe, when he joins the Marines, is scared, big headed kid who doesn't know shit about the Marines. He just wants to be a Marine. And then, not saying this by the end of it in Arlong Park, but as you see him, he progresses more and more and more into becoming a true Marine. And here, because you see him so much, you don't really see that progression. Oddly enough, it just feels like Kobe, the minute he joins the Marines, is a finished product. You know, and so yeah, the conclusion of it just makes me go. I feel like they use that stuff to fill up some time.
Agreed.
They chose characters. They didn't actually put in filler, as in we're going to have original characters and just do some random shit. So they use if you're going to do filler type of stuff, this is the way to do it. Kind of just expanding on things or putting your eye to the focus with characters that are kind of in the background, but I can't say I like how much they were put in the story for a conclusion like that. Bogart had more screen time than in anime. That's true.
I call Bogart Oppenheimer. That's what he looked like.
Why? Oh, okay. Okay.
Oppenheimer with a cape.
It's the hat.
Yeah, it's the hat. Yeah, I mean, as for me, I loved Garp throughout this entire thing. It was a little weird, the ending. I don't know if I dislike it as much per se. Like, I don't think anyone here really dislikes it, super heavily or anything. But I hate it
with every fiber. No, I'm kidding.
I like Helmeppo's progression. Actually, I really appreciated Helmeppo's character compared to what we saw of him in the manga.
Agreed.
And I also I liked the actual fight scene with Luffy and Garp, if you can call it that, because it's Luffy. He even would fight his own family to keep his ideals alive, right? And that's something Luffy would do. So I really liked it. I also just Garp just seemed like such a powerhouse with those hits. He's so
all
cool.
At stake.
Yeah, it's all at stake. It's got to be. So, but yeah, I mean, I can see why. I think I feel more indifferent towards it, to be honest. I can see why people like it, and I can see why people hate it. Just the whole inclusion, and as well, the actual, you passed the test, laddie.
he's just a black sales character.
So
that's essentially what happened. He's just like, "Come on, guys, let's go home." And even the mouse guy was like, "What?
Oh yeah, Nezumi.
What's it? Huh?
Yeah." So
where's our money?
A great part in this live action, I thought they did really well, was when Nezumi, he seeks revenge on Luffy, so he puts out a bounty on him, and I think it's Kobe shows Luffy the bounty, and he goes, we're like enemies now, I'm gonna have to hunt you down, right? And he's like, no, Kobe, you don't understand. This is what I dreamed of. And you can see the happiness in his face that he's finally got
30 million.
He's got his wanted poster. Yeah, 30 million Barry, whatever it is.
It's called Belly?
It's either Belly or Barry. I don't know.
You know how the R and L's are.
Oh.
Yeah. It's hard to say, but because they call this sometimes in some of the translations they call Zoro Zolo. So
in the Viz they call him Zolo, in the fan translations they call him Zoro.
Yeah, very strange stuff, but I really love that part with Luffy. I thought that was really awesome. It felt really rewarding to be with Luffy throughout this journey.
Yeah. I love the scene at the end where everybody put their foot on a barrel and just kind of pledged their allegiance to the Straw Hats. That was a really good ending to everything.
Did you see the after credits?
If there was, I couldn't tell you who was who. I know that somebody was smoking or something.
Oh, okay, so you did. All
right.
Yeah, that's
I don't know who that is.
that's a teaser for season 2.
Which this show's renewed for season 2.
Yep, it's gonna happen. So I guess
They
let's
did
go
it.
ahead and get into like our final thoughts overall on the series and the live action. What did you guys think this really lived up to the expectations of the original series? And for UEA, if you're new, because you're new, do you think it lived up to all of the hype? And this is a series. Is this a series? Sorry, this is a series that you guys are going to watch season 2 and of.
Let me give my final thoughts on everything when it comes to this One Piece live action. I was never bored. I thought they did a very good job, even though I may not know when it comes to the anime or manga itself. I feel like what they did was that they turned an anime and made it live action. And that was something that I thought was a pipe dream. It was just, it would never happen. It would never translate. And somehow this studio, writers, directors, everyone, they did it. And I feel like they did a very good job of doing that. And you're right. See, this is what studios need to do moving forward. Is they need to take whatever made One Piece live action and do it with theirs, because there's going to be a One Punch Man, there's going to be a My Hero Academia, they're even going to do Your Name. They're making a lot of live action now, and if they follow this same script and stay faithful, I feel like that's what you need to do, is stay faithful, because I feel like people, or studios anyway, think that people aren't going to watch it because it's too weird and it's too much like an anime. This series proved that that's not true. Even though it is totally true to the source, I feel like this show has gotten mostly positive reviews from people that don't even watch anime. And that's saying something. So I'll leave it with my final thoughts here. This live action, what it has done is actually made me interested in wanting to read the manga. And that's saying something, because before I had no interest in it, but because this live action kind of did what its thing, it made me more, if I want to read the, manga, or if I wanted to like watch the anime, I actually looked and said, anime or One Piece anime episodes without filler, what would I have to watch?
Oh, I can give you a link to that. It's called One Piece. It's a fan edit.
Yep, that's what I found.
Yeah.
And I just thought overall this was a very good show. If I was to give it a rating out of 10, I would say it's pretty solid. I would say either a 7.5, close to an 8. The only reason I'd say 7.5 is because of the B plot, which to me felt weird. But if that wasn't there, it'd be a solid 8. So that's my final thoughts on One Piece live action.
It's time for the final judgment from Mrs. All Sunday.
Did it live up to expectations in regards to One Piece anime and or manga? No. But I think the reason why is because of the nature of One Piece. So this was a hard sell from the beginning. I thought it wasn't going to work, and it did impress me in that it took something that I thought had no business being a live action and did pretty well with it. But in regards to it living up to One Piece, the anime and manga, you just can't really do One Piece as a live action to the level that the mediums of anime and manga can do, because of how goofy, zany, and larger than life the series feels. when you bring in real people, it's constricted in a way. One Piece needs the freedom of anime. It needs the freedom of just drawing stuff on paper or coming to the screen with animation. It doesn't really have that freedom using real people. It's unless you had the budget of Elon Musk or something like that, it's really hard for it to translate that well. So I don't think it lived up to the standards of the anime and manga. But in terms of a live action, anime manga turned live action, it did pretty well. It did pretty well in that regard. I know there are like few live actions that people like. People like Kingdom. I haven't watched it for myself. People like the Japanese version of Death Note, which I haven't watched myself. But I think One Piece is going to be now one of those ones that you regard as the good live action, because I still think the stigma will exist with live action and people having their hesitations with how the live action is going to do an anime and manga, especially when it's an action shonen battle series. But One Piece is now one of the good ones in terms of a live action. So,
hooray! As for me, the one thing that I really, because I'm more of when it comes to me, with the things that I look for generally is themes, characters, writing. That's what I love. That's my bread and butter. When I watch something, that's what I'm always looking for is, what is this character like here? What is this one little thing that the character can take from this and grow from? And I love that stuff. So for me personally, I felt that One Piece nailed all of the original themes and captured the heart of the original manga in its terms of its writing. I actually agree with both of you in both of your regards. I do think the One Piece live action can never live up to One Piece, proper, because it's an animation, right? And as well, there's just some things like you will never get Buggy turning into a car in the live action. It's never going to happen. Not to say that's like a great aspect of One Piece or whatever, but it's just, you can't do that. However, when it comes to my personal taste, I thought this perfectly encapsulated all the themes and the things that I wanted to see. I loved the experience with Luffy, because I love the ideal of chasing your dreams no matter what, and I felt Luffy was a great embodiment of that. And I love seeing all these characters, coming together to create this found family and really learn to live for this family, but also for themselves, and to find their dreams. And I love how Luffy is unwavering in making sure that, and especially when it comes to Nami, that, the only thing that Luffy wants out of her isn't to create maps, it's to pursue her dream. And there's no right way to use Nami for Luffy. It's just let Nami do whatever she wants, right? And I love the themes of inherited will. They carried that over from the original, which is the idea that the previous generation passes on their will to the next generation. We see that with Shanks and Luffy. We see that with Belmir and Nami. We see that with do we see it with Usopp? I don't think we do. We see that with Zeph and Sanji. And I love they carried over all that stuff and this is the stuff that I really think makes One Piece One Piece. At least for me, it does. So I'm really glad to see that they carried all that stuff over, and it made watching this live action a real treat, because I haven't really ever seen a good live action anime before. So we all had fun watching it in the server. Everyone had a good reaction to it, and Yeah. I wouldn't give a number, but I would say this is the blueprint for what should be to come. And I don't think we're gonna wake up tomorrow, suddenly the Naruto live action is here and it's great. I think we're still gonna get really bad live actions. But I think there's gonna be some people that are gonna see this and make changes. And it's gonna happen slowly. And I hope the right series get the right treatment and get this kind of treatment, because it was very clear everyone working on it are huge One Piece fans and really wanted to make it good. So that's my thoughts. EA, I have one. Oh.
Hold on before we get there, because KRW6 wants to know, will KOA do a killer pass on the live action?
Will we? Might as well.
Pass it.
Satsuki, what are you giving it?
I'll pass as well.
Yep, I give it a pass. It was great. I enjoyed it all the way through. So EA, my final question for you.
Oh God, it's not about the dead body, is it?
Well, it's not about the dead body. It's about
Thank God.
where can they find you and the dead body?
You'll never find the dead body. But when it comes to where you can find me, just over at Everything Animated. You know, talking about Rent a Girlfriend. We're going to be talking about episodes 7 through 9 this coming weekend, Saturday. Please watch. And possibility of a stream on my Twitch of Danganronpa, because I've been working on my stream setup to see if I could get that going. And I know Sasuke.
Don't give me hope.
Sasuke's been bugging me and asking me. I mean, he's been politely asking me for for my playthrough, and I will oblige him. So that's what's going on in my little world. Sasuke, take it away.
Sasuke the Savage, find my channel. Still haven't posted any new videos. I did get a burst of inspiration. I think what I'll end up doing is I'll slow down on my gaming channel once I get my quota out, because I wanted to put out 100 videos out for the year that it was created, which was last year, or I guess this year, top of this year. So I'm going to be diverting more of my attention to my main channel, but always what I always do is on the weekends. Right now it's just Saturday and maybe Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I stream on Twitch. My channel there is Satsuki the Savage. So take the out with THE and just replace with DA. Satsuki the Savage. That's where you find my Twitch. Play Persona 5. Play LA Noire. It's a newer game I just played. Not newer game, but newer game to the rotation. I play Rain Cold. And Fire Emblem is coming on that channel. So
nice.
Be on the lookout for that. Yeah, Fire Emblem Engage. Or 3 houses, I meant. 3 houses. Yeah, because Ellie's server convinced me to buy that and play that game. I know you have some involvement with him playing that now. Him doing the, what is her name? Manuela?
Yeah, Manuela.
Yeah. And apparently he hates her. But yeah. That's where you can find me. Love y'all. Mwah. For Miss All Sunday, your favorite.
Well, as for me, you can subscribe to my main channel, C Tactics. This week I put out a Attack on Titan video. Tomorrow, putting out a video on the new JJK episode, so definitely go check that out. And I got some other stuff planned, let me tell you, it's some good stuff. So definitely get subscribed if you are, all there for the new anime, that are coming out. As well, my Bento channel, subscribe to that. We cover Chainsaw Man there. Anytime a new chapter drops, and the most recent video is my best performing video on the channel ever. And this, keep in mind, this is a second channel, and it's like kind of almost getting the same amount of views as some of my worst performing Sea Tactics videos. So that's kind of crazy. So if you're into Chainsaw Man and you read that weekly, or whenever a new chapter comes out, definitely go and check that out. It's a fun place. As well, join KOA Plus. It's only $1. I guess we'll be announcing next week. All the anime will be, or the next anime that's going to be on Patreon. And as well, I think Satsuki and EA have some sort of alcohol stream thing planned. Yeah, so go check that out. As well, follow us on Patreon at King of Anime Pod. There you can get updates on when the podcast goes live and other news and things and stuff. But other than that, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.
Johnny.
Later.